Chapter 4600. The experts of White Cloud Grotto searched quickly, but they did not find anything. They knew something was wrong and quickly informed White Cloud Grotto. When Bai Ling's grandfather heard about it, he shouted coldly and rushed over with his men. When they arrived at Moonshine City, they asked about the situation. Elder Bai's face turned ugly. He said, "Is there anything wrong with Ling recently?" The people around him shook their heads. A guard said, "Nothing unusual. But Princess Ling recently got a pet, exquisite cat." "What? Exquisite cat?" When the experts of White Cloud Grotto heard this, their faces turned ugly. "What's going on?" A sage king said, "The demonic beasts were attacking Moonshine City, and the leader was a top-tier demonic beast, exquisite cat. Could it be that there was a relationship between the two?" Elder Bai's face changed instantly. "Take me out of the city." Elder Bai led the experts of White Cloud Grotto out of the city quickly. There were countless demonic beasts outside the city. In front of them, there was a huge figure in the clouds. Elder Bai went up to talk to it personally. He asked, "Fellow demonic beast, how did White Cloud Grotto offend you? Can you let go of my granddaughter?" Exquisite Cat had a powerful demonic general under her command. It was a terrifying divine eagle. He flew over and said coldly, "You people of White Cloud Grotto are reckless. How dare you capture our young master as a pet? Wait for your death." "What?" The faces of the people of White Cloud Grotto changed. Elder Bai said, "Is there a misunderstanding? My granddaughter did get a spirit beast, but she got it at an auction. If you really have a grudge, you should go to the auction. You should not go to my granddaughter." "Cut the crap. Our king said that if you want your granddaughter, you can. I'll give you 1 day to gather 1,000,000 dragon marrow. Otherwise, I'll send your granddaughter to hell." "What? 1,000,000 dragon marrow in 1 day? What a joke." Even if they were from White Cloud Grotto, they could not do it. These demonic beasts dared to ask for so much. An expert of White Cloud Grotto beside Elder Bai said, "Elder, why are you talking to him? Let's kill him together." "That's right. How dare a mere demonic beast behave so atrociously in front of our paradise?" That demonic beast sneered. "You can attack. This time, our king has invited a few terrifying overlords. If you fail, we will immediately take action. You have to think clearly." Elder Bai Zhang clenched his teeth. "Let's go back and discuss a plan. At the very least, we have to investigate clearly. What was the situation with the other party?" Elder Bai gnashed his teeth and returned to the Moonshine City with his people. It was impossible for them to gather 1,000,000 dragon essences in a day, so they had to think of other ways. At this moment, Lin Xian made his move. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. He changed his appearance and became a genius of the Green Clan. He came to the front of Elder Bai's mansion. The guard went in to report. Elder Bai was already annoyed to begin with. When she heard those words, she said coldly, "No." The guard said that the young man said that he had a way. "Is there really a way?" The Saint King at the side said, "What could a young man do?" The young man claimed to be from a family of beast tamers. Elder Bai's eyes lit up. She knew that beast tamers were very famous in the Tianxian continent, even though they were not in their territory. Perhaps the young man really had a way. So she said, "Let him in." Soon, everyone saw a man in a black robe walk in and welcome them personally. "How should I address this young man?" Lin Xian said, "I am from Shanghai City, the Green Clan. I think you have heard of my family." Elder Bai's eyes lit up. Shanghai City was a very famous city. The Green Clan was also a top family. Perhaps the geniuses there really had a way. It turned out to be a genius from the Green Clan. Elder Bai was very happy. She said, "Young master, do you have a way?" Lin Xian said, "Very simple. My family of beast tamers naturally has a way to deal with those demonic beasts. However, I can't do it for no reason. Young master, if you have any requests, just say it. Lin Xian smiled. He said, I came out this time mainly to improve my strength, so I need cultivation resources. Don't worry about that. As long as you can successfully rescue Linger, you will be an important guest of the White Cloud Cave. I can give you any cultivation resources you want. I can even bring you to the sacred cultivation ground of the White Cloud Cave. Lin Xian did not answer immediately. Elder Bai's eyes lit up when she saw this scene. She said a few words to her subordinates. Soon, a Saint King walked in with a storage ring in his hand. Elder Bai took it and said, Young master, these resources are a gift for our first meeting. Young master, take it first. After the matter is done, I will definitely reward you greatly. Lin Xian took it and scanned it with his soul spirit. His lips curled up into a smile. Not bad. It's really generous. It seems like Teacher Bai is really anxious. He kept it and said, All right, don't worry. I will take action tomorrow morning. I have to prepare today. All right, young master. Why don't you rest in my place? Elder Bai said. Lin Xian shook his head. No, I like freedom. Don't let others follow me. Don't worry, I understand. Then, Elder Bai began to wait. Lin Xian kept the storage ring after he came out. Then, a cold light flashed in his eyes. His plan had already begun. With the monsters he controlled now, even if he attacked the 6 great caves, he would not be able to defeat them completely. After all, he was not a great saint-level beast tamer. Therefore, he was prepared to drive a wedge between these great caves. These great caves were all under the Misty Peak. The 6 great caves were about the same strength, but they all had conflicts with each other. No one was willing to submit to the other. It could be said that they had fought many times in the dark. Lin Xian wanted to seize this opportunity to magnify the conflicts between these great caves. It would be best if these great caves were completely at odds with each other. That way, he could benefit from it and use the power of heaven to suppress them. Now, he was preparing to gain the trust of the White Cloud Cave and then provoke the anger of the other great caves. He wanted them to fight with the White Cloud Cave. After returning to his own mansion, Lin Xian asked, How did it go? Gu Yu said that he had found someone from the Xiling Cave. This time, Lin Xian's target was a genius from the Violet Spirit Chamber, whose name was Zifeng. He was also a genius, and he was very arrogant. The whole process was very simple. Lin Xian deliberately met with him, then fought with him for a treasure and took it away from him in front of him. Zifeng was naturally unhappy. He immediately attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian slapped Purple Wind until his body and soul were obliterated. Chapter 46:01. The surrounding guards went crazy. They went forward to attack, but they were all killed by Lin Xian. Only one person was left. This person fled and reported to the others in the grotto heaven. Not long after, a group of Saint Kings arrived and surrounded Lin Xian. Kid, how dare you attack the people of Purple Spirit Shaking Sky? Do you want to die? Kneel down and wait for death. The group of Saint Kings released terrifying killing intent. Lin Xian sneered. You dare to threaten me? I think you are the ones who don't know death. Don't you know who I am? How dare you offend me? Get lost, or don't blame me for being rude. Those sage kings quickly took action. Lin Xian stood in the field and sneered. You dare to attack me? You don't know death. His eyes shone brightly as he released his soul power. A few demonic beasts flew out from the black earth and swept across the area. A thunder beast opened its mouth and spat out terrifying thunderbolts. It turned into peerless thunderbolts that swept across everything. There was also one that spewed out a terrifying poison that instantly turned a Saint King into ashes. The surrounding people roared crazily and quickly retreated. Damn it, this guy can control demonic beasts. What is this? Could he be a beast tamer? Quickly inform our elders. Not long after, the elder of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven arrived. He shouted coldly. A few demonic beasts were not worth mentioning. In his opinion, these demonic beasts were mid-stage Saint Kings, and he was a late-stage Saint King. He did not believe that Lin Xian could fight against him. He stretched out a large hand and pressed down with monstrous laws. The surrounding people shook their heads and sighed. It was a pity that such a beast-tamer genius had offended a grotto heaven. He did not know death. He probably came from somewhere else and did not know how terrifying the grotto heaven was here. The Saint Kings of the grotto heaven sneered. "Oh, the elder is here?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The few people that he had killed earlier were nothing compared to Lin Xian. If he could kill an elder, then the purple spirit grotto heaven would definitely go crazy. At that time, the effect might be better. So he snorted. The purple palm descended, and the two mid-stage Saint Kings turned into a bloody mist. That elder laughed uproariously. "Did you see that, brat? Your demonic beast couldn't even withstand a single blow from me." Lin Xian also snorted coldly. "You really are an idiot. Do you think I only have these two demonic beasts?" He summoned the ice fire swan, and its huge figure appeared. Terrifying ice spread out in all directions, freezing everything. The terrifying flames burned and instantly enveloped the elder of the Violet Spirit Grotto. The elder from the Violet Spirit Grotto was struck by the impact. He retreated and spat out blood. His face was full of shock. "Damn it, a late-stage Saint King demonic beast. You actually possess such strength." He was truly stunned, no matter how he looked at it. This person looked like a young man. How could a young man possess such terrifying strength? It was really hard to believe. He was a top-notch beast, taming genius. So what? Whoever dared to make a move on their paradise, they could all go to hell. He roared at the sky, forming a terrifying imprint. Endless laws condensed into a mirror that pierced through heaven and earth. Boom! The ice shattered, and the flames split apart. One had to admit that this elder's strength was extremely powerful. The ice fire swan roared and quickly attacked. Its body transformed into more than 2 meters long, and like lightning, it fought with the elder. At this moment, Lin Xian also activated the heavenly secret divine eye. A terrifying golden light enveloped the elder's soul. The elder's soul was severely injured. At this moment, the ice fire swan seized the opportunity and formed an ice blade and a fire sword piercing through the elder's body. The elder was split into 2 halves. He let out a crazy roar, wanting to counterattack. However, Lin Xian activated the ice fire swan and firmly suppressed the elder's body. At the same time, the heavenly secret divine eye was activated again. Now, with Lin Xian's strength, it was not impossible for him to destroy the soul of a late-stage Saint King. Therefore, under his powerful eye technique and the attack of the ice fire swan, the elder's soul was destroyed. The surrounding people were stunned. This was an elder, a late-stage Saint King, but he actually died. It was really unbelievable. The expressions of the people from the grotto heaven also changed drastically. They quickly went to call for more elders. Not long after, another 2 elders came together. Lin Xian sneered. "Kneel down and kowtow to admit your mistakes, and I'll spare you." He was too arrogant. Everyone's scalps went numb. At the same time, Lo Moon also quickly set off for Elder Bai's residence to pass the news to Elder Bai. After Elder Bai learned of the situation, his expression changed drastically. He immediately led people over. One had to know that Lin Xian had just promised to help him save his granddaughter. If he died at this time, then his granddaughter, Bai Ling, would probably die as well. Naturally, he would not allow such a thing to happen, so he quickly attacked. "Kid, how dare you? No one has ever dared to kill an elder of our purple spirit grotto heaven. Even if you are a beast tamer, you will not be able to escape death today." The 2 elders walked over and stared at the ice fire swan. Although this was a rare beast, They believed that the two of them could suppress it together. Today, this kid would not be able to escape. Although the situation was critical, Lin Xian did not care. With his current strength, he could fight against a late-stage Holy King. Although there were two of them, now his identity was different. Now, he also had the power to control beasts. And he had several powerful beasts in his hands, so naturally he was not afraid. More importantly, he had already sensed it. Elder Bai was here. At this time, there was a war between heaven and earth. All of you, stop. Then, a few powerful figures descended. Someone was here. Were they this kid's helpers? The surrounding people who were watching also exclaimed in surprise. The people from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven also snorted coldly and turned to look. When they saw Elder Bai, they frowned. Elder Bai, what is the meaning of this? Are you going to interfere in this matter? Elder Bai said that you can't kill this young Master Qing. He is my guest. Guest? The two elders from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven snorted coldly. He killed our Purple Spirit geniuses and many experts. More importantly, he killed one of our elders. You said we can't kill him? What a joke. The moment he said that, Elder Bai's face changed. Heavens, it had only been half a day, and this kid had already done something so shocking. Damn it. He looked at Lin Xian and asked with a frown, Young master, what is going on? Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and said coldly, They are from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. They wanted to steal my things, so I naturally had to teach them a lesson. But I didn't expect them to send their underlings to kill me. Since that's the case, I naturally did it. Originally, the younger generation was fighting for the limelight, but their elder was shameless and wanted to attack me. I could only summon my demonic beast and kill him. It was that simple. Elder Bai, did you hear that? This kid is too arrogant. Are you still going to protect him? Elder Bai's face was ugly. He said, Young master, why don't you apologize to Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, and then I will help you think of a solution. Apologize? What a joke. Why do I need to apologize to them? If they are unhappy, then fight. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Chapter 46:02. Also, Elder Bai, do you want to help him or me? Think carefully. If you help them, don't blame me for being rude. Also, what I promised you earlier on doesn't count. Hearing this, the faces of those from White Cloud Grotto changed. Elder Bai's face darkened as well. To be honest, no young man had ever dared to speak to him in such a manner. If it were in the past, he would have slapped the other party to death. But no, he still needed the other party. Elder Bai took in a deep breath. Seemed like he had to protect the other party first. Then he turned to those from Xiling Grotto and said, Guys, I'll protect this young man. If there's anything else, we can talk about it later. But not today. His thoughts were simple. After his granddaughter, Bai Ling, was rescued, he naturally wouldn't care about Lin Xian's life or death. Lin Xian knew what the other party was thinking. However, he didn't care. After all, this wasn't the only plan he had. He stood there with his hands behind his back and waited quietly. The faces of those from Xiling Grotto changed. What? They hadn't expected White Cloud Grotto to make such a decision. Are you sure? The two elders stared at Elder Bai with a cold expression. Elder Bai took in a deep breath and said to those beside him, Escort the young man and leave first. Leave this to me. At the back, the Saint King of White Cloud Grotto walked over and said, Young man, please. Lin Xian looked at those from Xiling Grotto and said coldly, You guys are lucky. On account of White Cloud Grotto, yours truly will let you guys off today. The next time you see me, don't blame me for striking. With that, he snorted coldly and left in big strides. Those from Xiling Grotto were about to go crazy. They wanted to strike, but they were stopped by Elder Bai. Guys, please listen to me. Elder Bai Yin left and went up. The surrounding people were stunned. They couldn't believe it. Someone could kill the elders of White Cloud Grotto and leave so calmly. Just who was this guy? To think that the people of White Cloud Grotto would protect him with all their might. All of a sudden, everyone started guessing about Lin Xian's identity. Elder Bai Yun explained he was also willing to pay some resources as compensation. And he said that he only needed 3 days. After 3 days, he would no longer care about this brat. At that time, when the Violet Spirit Grotto Heaven made their move, he would no longer care. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth and said, "Fine, Elder Bai, I'll give you face. 3 days later, we will personally kill this brat." The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven left, and the news spread out. In an instant, the entire city was in an uproar. Naturally, the people from the other Grotto Heavens also received this news. They were greatly shocked and began to investigate Lin Xian's identity. On the other side, Elder Bai heaved a sigh of relief. His expression turned cold. This time, he had paid a lot of treasures in exchange for 3 days of time. That damned fellow better be able to save his granddaughter. Otherwise, he would definitely tear that fellow into pieces. When they returned to the residence, Elder Bai asked if that fellow had gone out again. The 2 Saint Kings walked over and asked. No, they had been quietly waiting since they came back. Elder Bai nodded. That's good. Keep an eye on him and don't let him go out and cause trouble again. He snorted coldly. How could this genius of the Imperial Beast family be more arrogant than the geniuses of the Grotto Heavens? But thinking about it, the other party had many beasts protecting him. This was equivalent to having many experts protecting him. How could he not be arrogant? On this day, Elder Bai was very nervous. He was afraid that something would happen to Lin Xian again. But fortunately, it was over peacefully. When the sun rose, he quickly arrived in front of Lin Xian's palace. He said, "Young master, are you done?" Lin Yuxuan opened the door with a cold expression. "Calling me so early in the morning? You're annoying me." Elder Bai gritted his teeth and laughed dryly. "Young master, please forgive me. After this matter is over, I will compensate you well." "There's no need for compensation, but you have to remember what you promised me. Let's go." With that, Lin Xian waved his hand and walked up. Elder Bai and the other experts of the Grotto Heavens followed him. The group rose into the air and left Moonshine City. The beasts outside the city were still there. The demon general from before, Shining, flew over and asked coldly, "How is it? Are you ready?" 1,000,000 dragon marrow. Hurry up and bring it over." Elder Bai gritted his teeth and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "Leave it to me." He walked forward. "I want to see your king." The demon general snorted. "Who are you?" Lin Xian released a terrifying aura. His gaze pierced through heaven and earth. A terrifying soul suppression appeared. The surrounding beasts were all frightened. The demon general was the same. He took a few steps back. Lin Xian smiled. "Now, am I qualified to see him?" Shining said, "Follow me." Then he rose into the air and turned to Lin Xian. "Only you can come. Others are not allowed to come. Otherwise, don't blame us for taking action." Lin Xian looked at Elder Bai and the others. "Go back to the city and wait." With that, he left with Shining. Elder Bai and the others could only return to Moonshine City and wait anxiously. On the other side, Lin Xian came to the mountain. There was a huge creature in front of him. It was Ling Long. However, at this moment, he was extremely respectful. Shining also landed respectfully and knelt on one knee on the ground. "Greetings, master." An old man in front turned around and said with a smile, "Lin Gongzi, how is it?" The old man was Xiaomu. This was all part of their plan. Lin Xian asked, "Where is that person?" Xiaomu said, "Still locked up." Lin Xian nodded. Everything was going according to the plan. After staying for a while, he returned and left. He returned to Moonshine City. Seeing Lin Xian return, Elder Bai and the others went up to greet him. Master, how is it? What happened? Did Ling or not come back? They saw that only Lin Xian had returned. Bai Ling did not come back at all. Elder Bai's face darkened and a cold light bloomed in his eyes. He stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said indifferently, I went to see your granddaughter. She is still alive. After saying that, he waved his hand, and a light appeared. There was an illusion of Bai Ling in it. Ling, and Elder Bai exclaimed when they saw this scene. Then they asked, why didn't you save her? Lin Xian said, you can't blame me. If you want to blame someone, blame your granddaughter. She actually hurt that little cat. How could that evil beast do as he wished? I used my identity as a beast tamer family to intimidate them, Ling Long said. Although I cannot kill your granddaughter, I must punish her. He will temporarily seal her for a month. After a month, he will release her. But don't worry, I have already talked to him. It will only be a seal, so you will not hurt your granddaughter. Seal. Elder Bai furrowed his brows tightly. Why did he feel that something was amiss? He showed a doubtful look. Lin Xian sneered. Why, don't you believe me? If you don't believe me, then I will leave. But after a month without me, I am afraid your granddaughter will not be able to come back. Chapter 46:03. Elder Bai's pupils constricted. Then he forced a smile. How could that be? Thank you, young master. Why don't you stay here for a month? I'll definitely treat you well. Why don't you come to my White Cloud Grotto Heaven for a while? Lin Xian said, no, I'll stay in Moonshine City first. But you can go to the Grotto Heaven to find some cultivation resources for me. Recently, I feel like I'm about to break through. Lin Xian waved his hand. He wouldn't be polite to him. Damn it. Elder Bai cursed in his heart. But he really couldn't do anything to him for a month. However, there was one more thing that worried him. That was the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. Previously, he thought that his granddaughter would return the next day. He didn't expect that there was still a month. Then he couldn't fulfill his promise to them. He said, Young master, you offended the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. I'm afraid they won't let it go. So it's very dangerous for you to stay here. Lin Xian said, So, you don't intend to protect me? Elder Bai was about to vomit blood. Is this guy going to rely on me? He said, Although I'm also an elder of the Grotto Heaven, I can't represent the entire Grotto Heaven. I can only mobilize a small number of experts. This time, you offended the entire Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. If they really want to attack, I can't stop them. Lin Xian said, It's okay. You can stop as many as you can. Leave the rest to me. Lin Xian naturally didn't believe that they would help him with all their might. What he wanted to do was to make the two Grotto Heavens hostile to each other. Then it would be easy for him to make a move. Hence, he decided to stay here for the time being. He found a residence for himself and stayed there. Then he called Lone Moon back. At the same time, Xiaomu came back secretly. He was also worried about Lin Xian. With such a terrifying beast tamer like Xiaomu, Lin Xian wasn't worried at all. 3 days passed quickly. On this day, the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven made a comeback. They were murderous and had many experts because they knew that Lin Xian could control beasts. The entire Moonshine City was shocked. Countless people were shocked. What happened? The Violet Spirit Grotto Heaven did not intend to let the matter rest. Did that guy not leave yet? Of course, they knew that Lin Xian had a battle with the Xiling Wonderland a few days ago. In their opinion, anyone smart enough would definitely leave, never to return again. However, he didn't expect Lin Xian to still be walking around here. He followed him to take a look. These people soared into the air and followed behind one another. Soon, they arrived in front of a mansion. Brat, come out and accept your death. The people from the Xylan Grotto heaven stood above the 9 heavens and looked down like supreme gods and devils. Below, the mansion was extremely quiet. There was no response at all. "Damn it, go down and take him down." As his voice fell, the surrounding Saint Kings attacked together. Monstrous laws swept downwards. Naturally, they knew that Lin Xian was a beastmaster. As such, they didn't dare to act rashly and chose to attack from afar. The terrifying power covered the sky and covered the earth as it rushed toward the mansion below. Violent vibrations rang out as terrifying energy swept out in all directions. The people in the distance were terrified. With such an attack, the people inside would definitely die. Whung, crack, crack. However, at this moment, a terrifying frost swept out from the mansion below. It froze all the laws of magic and formed a world of ice and frost. What a terrifying frost! It could freeze everything. This young man was really something. The people watching the battle were discussing. The people from the Xylan Grotto heaven looked gloomy. This time, an elder came in person. He held a battle sword in his hand and swept across the land. He shattered all the frost and arrived in the courtyard. However, as soon as he arrived, endless vines appeared around him and formed a cage enchantment to trap him. Damn it! Endless sword light burst out from his body and attacked in all directions. The terrifying sword energy slashed the vines and made a loud noise. However, the vines didn't break at all. Instead, they wrapped around him like chains. It didn't take long for him to be sealed. Damn it! The people from the Xylan Grotto heaven were shocked. How terrifying! They didn't expect this guy to have so many terrifying beasts. Damn it! In the sky, a middle-aged man leading the Xylan Grotto heaven shouted coldly, "Go down and save him." 2 elders rushed down. They were 2 late-stage Saint King elders. After they arrived, they attacked fiercely. One of them shot out a purple lightning that turned into a divine thunder and rushed down. In an instant, it pierced through the vines. The other person condensed a monstrous sea of fire. The purple flames turned into a phoenix and descended from the sky. In an instant, the vines in the sky were burned to ashes. The elder who was sealed also quickly retreated. When the people around saw this scene, they discussed. As expected of the Xylan Grotto heaven, there were so many experts. No matter how strong that kid was, he probably couldn't withstand the attack of a grotto heaven. As expected, the 3 elders stood below and looked around coldly. The laws on their bodies burst out together. The ground below cracked, and a huge vine surrounded them to resist. At the same time, the power of ice and fire flew out. The 2 were in a stalemate and were evenly matched. At this moment, a dark shadow appeared in the sky and streaked across. Suddenly, the heads of the 2 elders flew up. Blood dyed the sky red. Countless people were shocked. What kind of method was this? It was too strong. In the void, a dark bat appeared. It had the wings of a bat, the body of a human, and a form with a cold aura. It directly devoured the blood of the elders. This was also a late-stage Saint King beast. It was the king of assassination. It was extremely strong. Damn it! The 2 elders shouted angrily. Their bodies cracked and turned into a bloody mist before they escaped. The people watching the battle were shocked. It was too terrifying. In just an instant, 2 elders were seriously injured. As for the person below, he didn't even come out. It was really unbelievable. The people of the Xylan Grotto heaven looked terrible. The middle-aged man who led the group walked down and said coldly, "Who exactly are you?" They naturally knew about beast tamers, but how could a young beast tamer be so powerful? In the void, Elderby was also shocked. He was also here. How could he not be here for such a big event? However, he didn't expect that he didn't have to do anything. Lin Xian's strength was completely beyond his imagination. It seemed like he had to reevaluate. Besides him, there were other experts from the other grotto heavens around. Their eyes were shining. If such a top genius could become their friend, he could help them control many powerful beasts. Thinking of this, the eyes of many from the grotto heavens lit up. The eyes of those from the Xyling grotto heaven were filled with endless murderous intent. No, such a genius had become their enemy. They had to get rid of him quickly. Chapter 4604. A figure walked out from the palace below. Lin Xian looked around and snorted. "It's you guys again. I spared you guys because of White Cloud Grotto. I didn't expect you guys to be so reckless. Since that's the case, there's no need for you guys to leave. Damn brat, you're finally out." The people from Xyling Grotto saw Lin Xian. They gritted their teeth. "Kill." They rushed down quickly. Lin Xian sneered. "Since you guys don't want to die, come at me." He used his eye technique. Immediately, the countless demonic beasts around him flew upwards. A huge battle broke out. The people from Xyling Grotto were extremely strong. However, Lin Xian had more beasts, one after another. Huge figures with terrifying auras danced in the sky. The battle was intense. Lin Xian wasn't in any danger at all. When the people around saw this, they were all stunned. This young man was truly extraordinary. The number of demonic beasts he could control was simply too many. How strong was his soul power? The people from Xyling Grotto gritted their teeth. Damn it. They realized that they couldn't do anything to him. At this moment, the void tore apart as a gigantic hand grabbed down like a god of war, causing the sky to shatter. The gigantic hand instantly sent many of the beasts flying before grabbing at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body flashed, and he quickly dodged. In the next moment, his face darkened. A Peak Sage King. The others were also shocked. They didn't expect that not only a Peak Sage King Elder was here, but a Peak Sage King Elder was here too. After the attack, an old man walked down from the sky. His powerful aura suppressed the surroundings. "Brat, no matter how strong you are, can you fight against me? Be obedient and surrender." The people from Xyling Grotto laughed proudly. The others looked terrible. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He said indifferently, "Elder Bai, you've been watching for so long. Aren't you going to attack?" In the void, Elder Bai was startled. He then walked out of the void. At this moment, his expression was incomparably serious. The people from Violet's Spirit Grotto Heaven looked over and said, "Elder Bai, we already gave you a lot of face before. I promised you that I would give him 3 days. Now that 3 days have passed. Do you still want to attack? Are you sure you want to be enemies with my Xyling Grotto Heaven?" The expert at the peak of the Saint King stage also looked over. Elder Bai's eyelids twitched. He was only a late-stage Saint King, facing a powerful existence at the peak of the Saint King stage. He also felt endless pressure. For a moment, he was stunned. "Kid, without the White Cloud Grotto, let's see who can protect you." Those from Xyling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth. They all walked up and knelt down obediently to accept their deaths. "I will break all the bones in your body and let you know what it means to wish you were dead." The people watching from afar also shook their heads and sighed. It was such a pity that such a genius beast taming was lost. Indeed, no matter how strong he was no match for a peak stage Saint King. In the face of such a frightening scene, Lin Xian laughed heartily. "Do you really think that you can contend against me with just a few of you? Is a peak stage Saint King very powerful? You are just SOSO in front of me. You don't have the right to be arrogant. Looks like you won't give up until you see the coffin." The elder shook his head and attacked decisively. This attack was extremely terrifying. It was as if he had used the law to its peak. The people around felt immense pressure and were all pushed back. Some people were directly injured. Lin Xian's face was also cold. However, at this moment, Xiao Mu in the palace made his move. He used the hallucinatory melody. A demonic beast flew out. Boom! A flaming figure flew past and turned into lightning, attacking the palm. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The palm split open, and monstrous flames enveloped the expert. The expert was terrified. Who was it? With a roar, he punched out again. The fist shadow, with terrifying power, blocked the flames. The terrifying flames danced and fell in all directions. Suddenly, the experts from Xiling Grotto Heaven screamed in pain. Quite a number of people were instantly burned to ashes. Among them, 2 of the elders had actually fallen. This scene scared everyone out of their wits. What kind of flames were these? How could they be so terrifying? Damn it, this was the power of a peak stage Saint King. They really did not expect Lin Xian to be able to counterattack in such a situation. He even severely injured Xiling Grotto Heaven. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were also pale as they quickly retreated to the back. The peak stage Saint King gritted his teeth. What was that? His gaze pierced through heaven and earth. In the next moment, his pupils shrank. He saw a figure covered in flames floating in the void. Vermilion bird, he exclaimed. It was a 3-eyed vermilion bird. There was a vertical eye in the middle of the vermilion bird's brows. It carried an extremely terrifying law of fire. Why, you still want to kill me now? I have said that you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian stood on the back of the vermilion bird and sneered. How could this be? This guy could control a peak stage Saint King? What level had he reached? The peak stage Saint King from Xiling Grotto Heaven had an extremely ugly expression. This flame was a fatal threat to him. The others did not dare to step forward. Who exactly are you? Lin Xian said arrogantly with his hands behind his back. I have said that I am from the Green Clan, and I have already joined the Myriad Transformation Sect. Not only did you offend a top beast taming family, but you also offended the Myriad Transformation Sect. What? Myriad Transformation Sect? Many people were puzzled. However, the faces of the Grotto Heaven members changed drastically. They had heard that this sect was extremely terrifying. It was not in their region, but on this continent. It was a sect on the same level as the Ethereal Peak. It was even more powerful than the Ethereal Peak. They did not expect this young man to have such a shocking background. Elder Bai was extremely regretful. He was extremely regretful now. If he had taken action earlier, he could have improved the relationship between both parties. However, he was now afraid of offending the other party. Elder Zhang, what should we do? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven asked. The peak stage Saint King frowned. This was not a small matter. Let's go back and discuss it with the other Saint Kings. He could not make up his mind. These people turned around and prepared to leave. Lin Xian laughed. What? You think you can come and go as you please? Who do you think I am? His voice was like thunder, causing the people from Xiling Grotto Heaven to stop in their tracks. Their faces turned ugly. The peak stage Saint King turned around and gritted his teeth. Then, what do you want? What do I want? So many of you from the older generation came to kill me. If I did not have the strength, I would have died long ago. Now, what do you think I want? Do you think I am easy to bully? Do you want me to inform my family or ask the experts from the Myriad Transformation Sect to come here and reason with you? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven's faces changed. No matter which one it was, they could not afford to offend them. Therefore, the leading Saint King gritted his teeth and said, Calm down. We did not know your identity before. Moreover, you have killed many of our people. Why don't we stop here? Impossible. Lin Xian rejected directly. Your people challenged me first. If you don't give me a satisfactory result today, don't blame me for being rude. Chapter 46:05. Then what do you want? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were no longer as arrogant as before. It was simple. Do you want to kill yourselves, or do you want me to send you to hell? What? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. This guy really wanted to kill them. Don't go overboard. Although your identity is extraordinary, you're alone here. If you're really anxious, we'll kill you. Is that so? You still want to kill me? Looks like I can't let you live any longer. Lin Xian waved his hand. Immediately, the three-eyed vermilion bird flew over. The ice fire swan, the umbra bat, and the other demonic beasts also rushed over. You're courting death. The peak elders from Xiling Grotto Heaven roared and attacked. They were really angry. So, what if the other party had a high status? This was their territory. In an instant, a great battle broke out. The others retreated far away to watch the battle. They couldn't believe that Lin Xian was so strong. They didn't know that Lin Xian hated the 6 Grotto Heavens. These people treated their companions as battle servants. They even had something to do with the human world. How could Lin Xian let these people go? The battle was very intense. Demonic beasts that blotted out the sky and covered the earth rushed over. Even the elders who were at the pinnacle felt a sense of crisis. However, at this moment, the void cracked open. 2 people rushed towards Lin Xian. Not good. When the crowd saw this, they exclaimed. They didn't expect Xiling Grotto Heaven to have a space scroll. The sudden appearance of this young man was definitely dangerous. The 2 sneered. Die, kid. One of them held a long saber, while the other clenched a fist and rushed over. Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. He met the 2 of them head-on. With one strike, an earth-shattering sound rang out. The 2 of them were stunned. Lin Xian turned around and sneered. How dare a mere mid-stage Saint King assassinate me? As he spoke, he struck out. One of his palms turned into lightning, while the other turned into a sword light. The 2 of them were beaten into a bloody mist. A crazy voice rang out. The 2 of them were instantly destroyed. At the same time, Lin Xian transmitted his voice to send another peak demonic saint to end the battle quickly. Inside the palace, Xiao Mu attacked again. A demonic beast at the pinnacle joined the battle. Above the 9 heavens, the peak elder of Xiling Grotto Heaven roared, "Get lost! Retreat! Break out of the encirclement!" He was truly stunned. He could still fight against a 3-eyed vermilion bird, but if another demonic beast of the same level were to appear, he really wouldn't be able to stop it. He turned around and fled. However, in the next instant, half of his body turned into a bloody mist. He was so scared that his scalp went numb. It was a strange golden fish. The scales on its body were very sharp. In an instant, his body was cut open. When the surrounding people saw that even the peak elders were no match for him, they were so frightened that they hurriedly fled. The Ice King Hong, who shot out a sky full of frost, forming a barrier. The 2 peak demonic beasts killed the peak elder until his soul was completely destroyed. The other people from the Violet Spirit Grotto were terrified. They knelt in the air. "We were wrong. Please spare our lives. We won't dare to go against you anymore." However, it was useless. Those demonic beasts burned everyone to ashes. In the blink of an eye, all the strong people from the Violet Spirit Grotto were dead. The surrounding onlookers were dumbfounded. The people from the other Grotto Heavens also felt their scalps go numb. What kind of technique was this? It was simply too incredible. Were all beast tamers this terrifying? Lin Xian sneered. "There is only one outcome for those who dare to go against me." He waved his hand, and the demonic beasts in the sky all flew back into his demonic beast pouch. At the same time, he waved his sleeve, forming a terrifying storm that blew away all the bloody mist in the sky. The sky was bright again. He turned around and was about to go in. The other people were amazed. He was simply a young god. At this moment, Elder Bai, who was in the air, came back to his senses. He quickly flew forward and landed in the courtyard. He shouted, "Sir, please wait." He had to rope in such a top-notch genius. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Elder Bai, revealing a cold smile. Elder Bai smiled and said, "Sir, why don't you come to my place for a chat? I will treat you well." Lin Xian said coldly, "Scram." The smile on Elder Bai's face froze. He could not believe that Lin Xian would treat him like this. Lin Xian said, "Why, now you want to treat me? Why didn't you protect me when I was being chased by the people from the Violet Spirit Grotto? I saved your granddaughter's life. Are you going to repay me like this? Scram and reflect on yourself. Think it through. Goodbye." After speaking, Lin Xian turned around and ignored Elder Bai, walking straight in. Elder Bai stopped in the courtyard. His face was extremely ugly. No one had ever dared to reprimand him, let alone a young man. He felt as if he had been slapped in the face, especially when there were countless onlookers looking at him and talking about him. He felt these people's gazes fall on his back. Damn it, he had lost all his face, but he did not dare to make a move. Even a peak Saint King had fallen, let alone him. In the next moment, he tore open the void and hurriedly escaped. Countless people were in an uproar. They also left one after another. This matter quickly spread throughout the Moonlight City and spread in all directions. Soon, countless people knew that a terrifying genius had arrived in the Moonlight City. His name was Sir Qing. He could control super beasts and sweep through everything. Go back. The experts from the other grotto heavens also went back to report. They felt that they had to be one step ahead and establish a good relationship with him. In Elder Bai's residence, the experts from the grotto heavens had returned. They said, "Old Zhang, what should we do? Should we take action against that kid?" Elder Bai sneered. "Do you want to die? If you want to die, don't drag me down. Didn't you see what happened to the Violet Spirit Grotto? Who dares to be disrespectful to me? Don't blame me for slapping you to death. Hurry up and contact the grotto heavens. Bring back all the treasures and resources. Tomorrow, I will personally apologize." The people from the other grotto heavens were also taking action. They had collected many treasures and were ready to pay a visit. On the other side, the people from the Xiling Grotto heaven were clenching their teeth. Damn it, one of their peak elders and many of their late-stage elders had fallen there. It was really hard for them to imagine. When the grotto heaven heard the news, they gritted their teeth and said, "Humph, what kind of beast tamer clan is it? No matter how powerful they are. So what? Why don't we ask the Grand Elder to come out and kill them directly? The Grand Elder is a supreme saint. He can definitely sweep through everything, no matter how strong the other party is. So what?" However, the elders shook their heads. Absolutely not. The other party is backed by a top beast tamer clan and the Myriad Transformation Gate, which also has a supreme saint. If we really angered them and let them take away thousands of beasts, the Xiling Grotto heaven would be in danger of being destroyed. Damn it. The people from the Xiling Grotto heaven were clenching their teeth. Chapter 46:06. At this moment, the older generation spoke again, trying to find a way to resolve the grudge. The young disciples of Xiling Grotto heaven were in disbelief. Someone had killed their elders and geniuses, and they still had to beg for mercy. What a joke! When had they ever been so aggrieved? Moonshine City was very lively at this moment. Everyone was talking about what had happened a few days ago. Lin Xian had controlled thousands of demonic beasts, killed many experts of Xiling Grotto heaven, and even told the elders of Baiyun Grotto heaven to get lost. It had become a legend, and countless young geniuses were envious and were discussing it. Many people even went outside Lin Xian's mansion. Of course, they didn't dare to get close and could only wander around. Elder Bai hadn't closed his eyes for the past few days. At his level, it wouldn't be a problem for him to not rest for 10 years. However, his mood today was indeed very perturbed and nervous. Finally, There was a flash of light in front of him, and a figure landed in front of him. "How is it?" Elderby asked. The few sage kings said, "Elder, don't worry, we've brought the things." As they spoke, they took out a few storage rings. After Elderby took them, he scanned them with his soul spirit and then heaved a sigh of relief. The next moment, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Ever since he was reprimanded by Lin Xian, he immediately contacted the Grotto Heaven and prepared a large number of cultivation resources. Now that they were all in these 3 storage rings, he felt very satisfied and thought that this should be able to move the other party. "Come, follow me." Elderby took in a deep breath and strode forward. There were many people behind him, including mid-stage sage kings and 8 early-stage sage kings. The group of people quickly flew on the clouds towards Lin Xian's mansion. Lin Xian's mansion. Countless people were still wandering around when they suddenly felt a terrifying aura pressing down on them. They all looked up. The next moment, they saw more than 10 figures descending. Someone exclaimed, "Isn't that Elderby? Is he here for revenge again?" They were extremely nervous, and they looked on curiously. After Elderby and his group came down, they didn't dare to land directly in the courtyard, but outside the mansion. Elderby cleared his throat and said in a clear voice, Bai Yuan would like to see young Master Qing." His voice went in, but there was no response. Elderby Zhang's expression changed. He shouted again, but no one responded to him. The people behind asked, "Elder, what should we do?" Elderby thought for a moment, then gritted her teeth and said, "We'll wait here." He had already missed an opportunity by not helping the other party previously. If he were to leave this time around, the misunderstanding between the two of them would be irreparable. So today, no matter what, he had to go in, even if he had to wait for 3 days and 3 nights. The surrounding people were shocked. They didn't expect that the Grand Elder of the Dongtian sect would be so respectful. Moreover, they couldn't even see his face. It was truly unbelievable. Just as they were discussing in surprise, another stream of light streaked across the sky, followed by another dozen or so figures. Fei Jiuqian of the Flying Feather Grotto Heaven. Request an audience with the young master. After these people landed, the leader of the group was a middle-aged man. Flying 9 heavens. Flying Feather Paradise. The surrounding people were stunned. Immediately, some people were surprised. This should be another elder. Not only that, I know him. He's very famous. They were extremely terrifying existences in the late stage of the Saint King realm. It was said that they were very close to the peak stage of the Saint King realm. I didn't expect him to come, and he's so respectful. The crowd was in an uproar. This flying 9 heaven status was even higher than Elderby's. They should be able to go in this time, right? However, to everyone's surprise, there was still no response from inside. Flying 9 heavens was also waiting outside with his men. Flying 9 heavens' gaze was calm, and he wasn't in a hurry. The experts behind him looked gloomy. Damn it, they came this time, but the other party didn't give them any face. It really made them angry. At this moment, another loud laughter was heard. Between heaven and earth, the chi of righteousness reverberated. An elder descended from the sky, and a powerful holy aura suppressed the surroundings. There were 5 figures following behind him. I'm Hao Yuanshan, and I'm here to see young Master Qing. His loud voice sounded again. The surrounding people were stunned. Hao Yuanshan was a core elder of the Howren Grotto Heaven, and he had reached the peak of the Sage King realm. Such a person had come personally. Everyone felt that it was unreal. They should be able to go in now, right? However, to everyone's surprise, there was still no response. Even Hao Yuanshan could only wait outside. This time, the people of the Flying Feather Grotto Heaven were extremely shocked. Previously, they were very angry, but now it seemed that they might have thought too much. The other party didn't even care about the peak of the Sage King realm, let alone them. Not long after, Another two forces came. The people of the Qianshan Grotto Heaven and Qingqiu Grotto Heaven were here, and the leaders were two peak of the Sage King realm, the elders of the five Grotto Heaven, standing outside the mansion. The scene was extremely shocking. The news spread instantly, and after the people of the Moonlight City knew about it, they all came to watch. Of course, they only dared to watch from afar, and some even used their souls to watch. Even so, the scene was shocking enough. The entire Moonlight City was discussing this. This guy was too arrogant. He really didn't care about the people of the five Grotto Heaven. The elders of the five Grotto Heaven looked a little cold. They knew that the other party was powerful, so they came personally. Logically speaking, the other party should have come out to welcome them, but they didn't expect him to not even have the intention to see them. Humph, he's really arrogant. Does he really think he's a god? At this moment, the peak elder of the Qianshan Grotto Heaven snorted. As he spoke, a strong flame appeared on his body. It was Elder Yanhua. He was from the Sage Heaven's old ancestor. I think we should join forces and go in. Elder Yen was said coldly. The others took a deep breath and were about to move. At this moment, someone came from afar. It was the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. Countless people were surprised. What were the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven doing? Were they here for revenge again? After the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven arrived, they were stunned to see the people of the five Grotto Heaven. But in the next moment, they said loudly, "The Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven wishes to see the young master. We hope that the young master can forgive us for offending you previously. We are here to resolve this grudge." The Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven wanted to resolve this grudge personally. That was unbelievable. Everyone in the Moonlight City was stunned. The Grotto Heaven actually lowered their heads. This was something that happened once in 1,000 years. In the palace, Lone Moon looked at the scene outside, then turned around and asked, "Young master, what do you plan to do?" Lin Xian opened his eyes and asked indifferently, "Is everyone here?" Guyu said, "The people of the Six Grotto Heaven are all here and waiting outside." Oh, Lin Xian stood up and smiled. "The people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven are here too?" Guyu nodded. Lin Xian waved his hand and said, "Kill them." Chapter 46:07. Lone Moon was stunned. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so domineering. To be honest, he thought that there was a grudge between Lin Xian and the Six Grotto Heavens. He thought that Lin Xian wanted to suppress them, but now it seemed that was not the case. The grudge between the two parties was deeper than he thought. "Don't worry, young master, let me handle this." Xiao Mu also stood up and waved his hand. The three-eyed vermilion bird flew into the sky and shot out a divine fire from its third eye. Outside the mansion, those people were still waiting, and many of them were already impatient. Elder Yen, whose expression was cold. He said, "Are you still going to wait? I'm going to go indirectly." Just as he was about to walk forward, a divine flame flew out of the mansion. It flew past Elder Yen, Hua like a bolt of lightning. Elder Yen, Hua felt the aura of the fire and his hair stood on end. He was so shocked that he almost knelt on the ground. The divine fire did not attack him. Instead, it flew past him and hit a figure behind him. Suddenly, the figure let out a crazy roar. The space between his eyebrows was pierced in an instant, and his soul was burned to ashes. The people from the other Grotto Heavens were shocked and stepped back. When they looked over, their faces turned ugly. They saw that the elder from Xiling Grotto Heaven had fallen to the ground and was no longer breathing. Was he dead? He was killed in one move. These people's scalps went numb. That divine fire was really too powerful. Someone said, "I know. It should be the three-eyed vermilion bird that shot out the strongest bloodline fire." This person's methods were beyond imagination. The elders from the Grotto Heavens looked very serious. Those who were dissatisfied immediately stopped talking. Even Elder Yenho was trembling and breaking out in cold sweat. What a joke! The other party killed them, like stepping on ants. They did not dare to be presumptuous. These people were uneasy. Those who were further away were even more shocked. Such powerful methods, he was like a god. At this moment, the door of the mansion opened, and Guyu walked out. All right, you guys can come in. The elders of these paradise walked in cautiously. There were a total of 5 paradise, because the violet spirit paradise had already been destroyed. After entering, they walked into the palace and found Lin Xian sitting there with these demonic beasts beside him. At the same time, there was an old man beside him, who was even more unfathomable. After greeting young Master Qing, the elders of the 5 great paradises bowed one after another. Lin Xian looked at these people and smiled. What business do you have here? Howren Grotto Heaven's elder smiled and said, Young Master, your actions just now were extremely valiant, and I admire you. We're here to see what kind of top geniuses you are. Also, we hope that you can become friends with us. That's right. The people from the Flying Feather Cave and the Thousand Mountain Cave quickly nodded their heads. At this moment, Elder Bai walked up and said, Young Master Qing, I was in the wrong previously. After thinking about it, I realized that I was really wrong. Such a thing would never happen again. I hope young master will give me a chance. Is that so? Lin Xian nodded his head slightly. Elder Bai gritted his teeth and took out his storage ring and said, I know young master is a beast tamer. These are some spirit fruits that I specially collected. They are all top-grade spirit fruits. They are extremely suitable for demonic beasts to consume. Lin Xian took a look at it and was extremely surprised. All right, I'll forgive you this once then. That's great. Thank you, young master. Elder Bai was overjoyed. If anyone outside saw this scene, they would definitely be dumbfounded. Was being forgiven by the other party worth being so happy about? However, Lin Xian's methods were simply too skillful. Even these elders were shocked and could not help but treat him with caution. At this moment, a lady from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven walked up and said with a smile, Young master, our Green Hill Grotto Heaven would like to invite you over as a guest for a few days. Would you be willing to? This lady was truly like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Countless people were stunned. Damn it, this Green Hill Grotto Heaven was too scheming. They sent out such a fairy. Young Master Qing might not be able to handle it. Their faces became extremely nervous. Lin Xian said with a smile, Is that so? I'll have to think about it. The fairy from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven was stunned. She did not expect that the other party would not be affected at all. The people from the other Grotto Heavens also laughed. It was simply laughable to use such petty tricks in front of young master. However, they still hurried to invite him. The elder from the Howren Grotto Heavens said, We would also like to invite young Master Qing. Young master, come to our White Cloud Grotto Heaven. We will definitely not disappoint you. Elder Bai quickly walked out. The 5 Grotto Heavens had all invited him. They almost got into a fight. Lin Xian said, You're all so nice. You're making things difficult for me. Besides, I want to go out to the forest to catch some demonic beasts to cultivate. I don't have much time. Don't worry about that. Elder Bai stood up and said, Leave the matter of the demonic beasts to us. We'll suppress the demonic beasts that young master needs for him to cultivate. Flying Fish Grotto Heaven can do that too. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Our Green Hill Grotto Heaven has many demonic beasts. Will definitely satisfy you. The people from these Grotto Heavens were all extremely strong. Elder Bai was about to cry. One had to know that his granddaughter was still sealed. If Lin Xian left with the people from the other Grotto Heavens, if he didn't return in a month, his granddaughter would be in danger. Furthermore, if the people from the White Cloud Grotto Heaven knew that he had missed out on such a top-notch genius they would probably kill him. Therefore, he gritted his teeth. As if he had made some sort of decision, he took off the storage ring on his hand and said, "Young master, I'm sorry. Young master, I obtained 5 Qilin fruits by chance. Now, I'm giving them to you. I hope that you'll accept them." As soon as these words came out, the people from the surrounding grotto heavens were shocked. Qilin fruits were good stuff. Just like the dragon marrow, they were extremely precious. Furthermore, the conditions for the Qilin fruits were even more troublesome. It required the place where the Qilin race's saint blood had dripped and all sorts of heaven and earth powers to form the Qilin fruit. They didn't expect Elder Bai to be so lucky to have obtained the Qilin fruits. However, this guy was really determined. He even took out such a peerless treasure. This kind of thing was very useful to Saint Kings. It could increase their strength. Now, it seemed that Elder Bai had really gone crazy. Lin Xian was also surprised. After receiving the Qilin fruits, he found that each of them was the size of a fist and crystal clear. There was also a blood-red glow on them, which was filled with power. Lin Xian was very satisfied. He smiled and said, "It must have been difficult for Elder Bai to obtain such a precious thing. It's such a pity to give it to me like this. If I get it, wouldn't I be unreasonable? I think it's better to forget it." Elder Bai's expression changed, and he quickly shook his head. "How can I use such a spiritual fruit of heaven and earth? Only a top-notch genius like you is worthy of using it. If you don't use it, it'll be a waste, and you won't be giving me face. Young master, you must accept it." It was as if he had turned into the most humble dust to set off Lin Xian's brilliance. The eyelids of the elders from the surrounding grotto heavens twitched, and their faces darkened. Damn, I didn't expect this old guy to be so shameless. Don't you feel guilty saying such words? Chapter 4608. Even Lin Xian was surprised. Once these people became ruthless, even he was afraid of them. He said, "All right, since they are so sincere, I will keep the 5 Kirin fruits." Elder Bai saw this scene and smiled. "Young master, do you agree?" Lin Xian said, "It's not realistic to go to Cloud Grotto. Is there a Cloud Grotto residence in Moonshine City? I can go there." "Yes, there is." Elder Bai nodded. Moonshine City was also a huge city. Naturally, there were properties of the 6 great grotto heavens. Elder Bai was very happy. The other people of the grotto heavens were gnashing their teeth. It seemed that they had lost an opportunity. However, they would not give up. They would think of a way to snatch it from Cloud Grotto. The next day, Lin Xian and the others followed Elder Bai and left Cloud Grotto residence in Moonshine City. This residence was even more magnificent than Elder Bai's residence. There were many experts and saints inside. These people were in charge of managing the properties of Moonshine City. After Lin Xian arrived, Elder Bai personally came out to receive him. Even the Peak Sage King came out to welcome him. One could imagine how much faith Lin Xian had. After Lin Xian arrived, he saw that there were indeed some demonic beasts inside. There were even many newly suppressed demonic beasts. Lin Xian controlled a few of them, and then let them guard the entire residence. The people from the White Cloud Wonderland were shocked. How could he control the terrifying demonic beasts so easily? If they could get more help from him, they would definitely be able to help. If he could help them, they would not need any guards at all. These demonic beasts alone could protect everything. Lin Gongzi, this way, please. This is your courtyard. We have specially prepared many demonic beasts for you. I hope you will be satisfied. Elder Bai brought Lin Xian and the others to a quiet courtyard. Lin Xian stayed there temporarily. There were artificial mountains and flowing water inside. There were also dozens of demonic beasts. In addition, there were many cultivation resources. It could be said that ordinary elders did not have such treatment. Only the top elders had such treatment. The fact that Lin Xian received such treatment as soon as he arrived was truly astonishing. Lin Xian also nodded his head in satisfaction. As expected of a heavenly grotto, he did not hesitate to accept these items. Lin Xian said to Lone Moon and Xiao Mu, "You two don't have to be polite. Just use it. If you run out, you can ask them for more." Even if the white cloud grotto heaven was gone, there would be other grotto heavens. This time, he had to make good use of it. Xiao Mu and Guyu laughed and began to cultivate in seclusion. Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword spirit and began absorbing these resources. At the same time, he also absorbed them to increase the power of the great dragon sword spirit and 9 yang divine body. In the next few days, Elder Bai and Elder Zhang came to deliver a lot of resources and demonic beasts every day, which stunned Xiao Mu and Guyu. They had never seen such treatment before. Lin Xian also said, "You've made me very satisfied. Don't worry, you can count on me. Also, I have to thank you properly. Your white cloud grotto should have stayed here for a long time, right? You should be planning to continue staying here." Elder Bai nodded his head. Lin Xian, "It seems that there is an array formation in the mansion, but I'm not very satisfied. I plan to control a top-level demonic beast for you and make it the guardian of your mansion." Really? One had to know that although they were in the same realm, some demonic beasts had magical powers that could protect everything. However, with the strength of the heavenly grotto, it was possible to capture such a demonic beast. But subduing it was impossible. It had to be a beast tamer, and an extremely powerful one at that. Now that Lin Xian had spoken, everyone was naturally happy. After Elder Bai sent the news back, the peak elders in the mansion were also very happy. They immediately held a banquet to entertain Lin Xian and the other two. During the banquet, they asked about the specific situation. Lin Xian said some things, and then said, "Now, help me collect some information." Lin Xian said that there were 5 demonic beasts. These 5 demonic beasts were all plant-type demonic beasts. They guarded the center of the mansion. Combined with the surroundings, they were definitely more terrifying than a peerless array formation. After hearing this, the peak elders beamed with joy and nodded one by one, indicating that they would do their best. In the next few days, these people began to go to the battlefield to subdue the demonic beasts. Soon, the 5 demonic beasts were subdued and returned to the mansion. The following matters were left to Lin Xian and the other two. They were going to subdue all these demonic beasts. With Xiao Mu's powerful soul suppression, Lin Xian planted the seal of life and death. The whole process took more than a month. After all, this time, they were all extremely terrifying peak demonic beasts. During this time, Lin Xian went outside and brought Bai Ling back. The current Bai Ling was useless. Even without Bai Ling, the people of the White Cloud Grotto would not dare to be rude to him. As expected, when Elder Bai saw his granddaughter return, he was so emotional that he almost cried. He was even more grateful to Lin Xian. However, he did not know that the person they were grateful to was not their savior, but their avenger. After hearing this news, the people of the other grotto heavens were extremely envious. Damn it, back then, they were late. They did not expect the White Cloud Grotto to benefit. The aura that came from the White Cloud Grotto's mansion shocked them. One could imagine that the White Cloud Grotto had definitely obtained a great benefit. On the other side, the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto gritted their teeth. Back then, the 6 grotto heavens visited together. In the end, 5 grotto heavens went in, and only their grotto heavens did not. Instead, they were killed in a single move. This was more than just a slap to their faces. Damn it, this kid is too arrogant. Some of them gritted their teeth. What should they do? The peak elders were cold. Since they were already enemies, there was no need for them to use some forces. Someone frowned. Could it be that they had to contend with him? This kid has a lot of demonic beasts. Furthermore, he is currently in the White Cloud Grotto's mansion. I'm afraid the White Cloud Grotto will not leave him alone. Another elder said, then they should take some other actions, such as using some assassination power. Hearing this, some people frowned. Were they going to use the power of the mortal world? Even on the buried Emperor star, it was impossible to use this kind of power openly. After all, no matter which world one was in, the mortal world was an extremely terrifying existence. Once they appeared, they would be suppressed by other forces. An elder said, I understand. I'll prepare for this matter. Also, don't spread the news. Only the few of us know. At this moment, the aura of the White Cloud Grotto's mansion changed greatly. Everyone felt a powerful force protecting them. This made them very happy. They quickly gave Lin Xian more resources. Chapter 46:09. Lin Xian and the rest continued to absorb and felt that they had reached a limit. He was ready to go out for a stroll and digest. Leaving Xiaomu in charge, he and Lone Moon left together with 4 young geniuses from the White Cloud Grotto heaven. They were extremely respectful and worshipful of Lin Xian. One of them said, Lin Gongzi, do you know? There was a very famous place in Moonlight City. It was called Moonlight Lake. Especially at night, one could see the strange scene of the 9 heavens capturing the moon while sitting on a boat on Moonlight Lake. Moonlight Lake was very famous. It was a place where one could see the 9 heavens capturing the moon at night, because in ancient times, there was once a peerless saint who comprehended the top divine power, 9 heavens capturing the moon. Here, later, it was said that in his later years, this peerless saint returned and finally passed away here. His soul and blood were all merged into Moonlight Lake, so every full moon, there would be a strange scene of the 9 heavens capturing the moon. Today was the night of the full moon. In the evening, Lin Xian and the rest set off. When they arrived at Moonlight Lake, they found that there were already many people there. Many people stopped by the lake, and there were several boats floating on the lake. There were figures sitting on them, emitting a terrifying aura. Obviously, these were Saint Kings who were comprehending here. With White Cloud Grotto Heaven's strength, it was easy to get a boat. Lin Xian and the rest walked on and floated on the lake. At this time, the full moon in the sky appeared and reflected down. A strange scene appeared around them. The moonlight flickered, as if they had entered a magical fairyland. Many people exclaimed. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. What a terrifying phenomenon. He did feel an extraordinary great Tao. Was this the 9 heavens capturing the moon? Gu Yu, who was beside him, was also stunned. As expected of a huge city, there was such a phenomenon. At this time, Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Not good. He slapped Gu Yu. He slapped Gu Yu away. Gu Yu didn't know why Lin Xian attacked him, but in the next moment, he understood. Because a beam of sword light had cut open his neck. If Lin Xian hadn't sent him flying, his head would have been lopped off by now. Lin Xian had saved his life with that photo. He was terrified. Who was it? With a cold shout, a terrifying aura burst forth from his body. A claw appeared from his demonic beast pouch and enveloped him, forming a powerful defense. At the same time, he looked around. On the other side, Lin Xian was also affected. He saved Gu Yu with a palm strike, and at the same time, he punched the sword light with a backhand, shattering it. However, another saber light slashed at his back and sent him flying. He turned around abruptly and felt a sharp pain in his back. It was as if his back was about to split apart. Fortunately, he had a divine body. The powerful 9 Yang divine body blocked the attack. However, his expression had already turned gloomy. Who was it that dared to assassinate him at this time? The 4 young men of the White Cloud Wonderland immediately rose to their feet upon seeing this. Who was it who dared to attack Lin Xian? Now, they knew how important Lin Xian was. If he was injured, they wouldn't be able to explain it to their superiors. Terrifying clouds rose up from the four of them as well, filling the area with them. Be careful. Let's go back. I'll send a distress signal to the elders. One of them steered the boat and was about to leave. The other took out a jade pendant and was about to crush it. However, in the next moment, the space between their eyebrows split open. 2 streaks of sword light destroyed their bodies and souls. Oh no! When the remaining 2 grotto heavens saw this, they turned around and wanted to escape. However, in the next moment, their hearts were pierced again. The 4 geniuses of the White Cloud Wonderland were killed in an instant. Blood splattered everywhere. The people around the Moonlight Lake were also stunned. Where did the white mist come from? Did someone attack here? Did they not know the rules? The Moonlight Lake was a place where everyone meditated. Especially when the moon was full, fighting was absolutely forbidden. Otherwise, they would be besieged by everyone. Was there anyone who didn't know what was good for them? One by one, powerful figures stood up and locked their gazes. However, in the next moment, they saw the clouds disperse and a boat came out. There were 4 figures on the boat. They were lying on the ground, and their blood had pierced through the sky. Someone was killed, and it was someone from the White Cloud Wonderland. In an instant, many people were terrified. Look, there were still people on the boat. Guyu was also stunned. What a terrifying killer, even more terrifying than his King of Shadows. At this moment, he summoned a giant black ape. One of its claws covered him, and the other hand swept in all directions. It formed a powerful storm. At the same time, he also summoned the dark bat to assassinate. However, after those people attacked, they disappeared without a trace. They seemed to have left. His face was gloomy. Such a terrifying assassination method made him think of a name. In the human world, finally, they couldn't help but attack. The young master seemed to have left. After a while, Guyu spoke. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a few more sword lights rushed over. Guyu hastily launched an attack. His black hand blocked the sword light, but the gigantic ape roared loudly. Guyu's neck was pierced. Blood kept falling like seawater. He roared to the sky and slapped down. The entire Moonlight Lake was turned into a huge sea. Countless people were shocked. They didn't expect that someone would dare to fight in the Moonlight Lake. Some Saint Kings shouted angrily. They rushed up. However, in an instant, a few sword lights split them apart. The other Saint King's pupils shrank. Oh no! Retreat. It's a top killer. Those people didn't pay attention to them and left. It seemed that the 2 young people in the center of the lake had provoked a powerful being. They couldn't do anything about this battle. They could only speculate. The peerless sword lights were like lightning. They surrounded the sky and attacked Lin Xian and Guyu. At this moment, Guyu had already summoned 3 demonic beast saints. They kept attacking. Originally, he wanted to kill the enemy, but now he could only use the 3 demon beasts to protect him. Lin Xian's face was very serious. These killers were very terrifying. They focused on killing with one blow. Moreover, the other party's hiding method was very terrifying. Even with Guyu's powerful soul power, he couldn't catch it. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He activated the genius superpower. His golden eyes were like divine lamps lighting up the void. Then he took a step forward and punched out with his golden fist. Boom! He punched out, shattering the void. A figure was pushed out like a shadow. There was blood dripping from it. It was obvious that this punch had injured him. But in an instant, the figure disappeared again. What a terrifying fist! Who was fighting? The people in the distance were shocked. There was a murderous aura in front of them. They couldn't see the strange scene of the 9 heavens grabbing the moon. They knew that it must be an extremely strong person with a terrifying physique. Chapter 46:10. Guyu was also shocked. He realized that Lin Xian hadn't used his true strength during the mountain sea beast battles. This was because the other party's punch was much stronger than before. After the attack, two saber lights rushed over. Lin Xian fought back, but he realized that the expert sent out this time was actually a late-stage Sage King. The previous one was weaker, but these two saber lights were very strong. Lin Xian was forced to retreat. He snorted and didn't say anything. He took out the Great Destruction Spear and attacked. A terrifying demonic aura surged through the 9 heavens. The demonic aura danced, and the sound of a dragon echoed through the sky. A figure was instantly pierced through. That person's pupils constricted, and he shouted coldly. He slashed his saber at himself, cutting off his broken arm. He quickly fled. At the same time, a cold-killing intent rushed towards Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian seemed to have turned into a god fiend. It was unknown how many experts there were in the world. Lin Xian was completely surrounded. At this moment, an even more terrifying aura exploded. "Not good," Lin Xian exclaimed. He sensed danger and instantly entered the Great Sage Tower. In the next moment, the Great Sage Tower was smashed into the Moonlight Lake. The surrounding space was completely turned into nothingness. This was a peak assassin. It was too terrifying. Buzz. Roar. The Moonlight Lake shook nonstop as Lin Xian charged out from within. Flames danced in the sky as a 3-eyed vermilion bird flew out and swept through the 9 heavens. Although Xiaomu didn't come, the 3-eyed vermilion bird followed him. Lin Xian controlled the 3-eyed vermilion bird and swept through the surroundings, lighting up the entire void. He walked out, his face incomparably cold. "Since you're here, no one can leave today." Lin Xian roared. A pair of golden eyes appeared in the sky. A terrifying phantom of the divine map enveloped the entire space. "Kill." He attacked aggressively. Lin Xian stood on the 3-eyed vermilion bird and waved the Great Destruction Spear. He charged towards one of the mortal world experts. The assassin wanted to retreat, but how could he escape under Lin Xian's gaze? The Great Destruction Spear was like a black mountain pressing down with a terrifying dragon Dao aura. The killer saint tried to resist, but the moment he swung his sword at the void, he was sent flying. How terrifying! These people quickly retreated. How could Lin Xian let these people leave? He immediately summoned his great dragon sword soul, which transformed into a dragon shadow and sliced his opponent in half. A sacred assassin fell. Another sacred assassin was turned into a mist of blood. Lin Xian swung his sword thrice and his face turned pale. The 3 killer saints of the mortal world had their souls completely retreat. The leading peak saint roared and quickly retreated. Lin Xian pushed his heavenly secret god eyes to the extreme, attacking his opponent's soul. That killer saint didn't expect Lin Xian's soul to be so powerful. After receiving the attack, his body swayed, and he vomited blood. The 3rd eye of the vermilion bird shot out a divine flame and enveloped the opponent. A roar sounded. That person was severely injured. He tore open the void and disappeared. Was it over? The people in the distance were stunned. These killer saints were too terrifying. However, the person who attacked was even more terrifying. He killed one with a sword. What was that powerful aura just now? Guyu was also shocked. Was this Lin Xian's trump card? At this moment, the great dragon sword soul had returned to Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's face was pale. He quickly absorbed the power of heaven and earth and swallowed pills. It seemed that he had to speed up. There were already grotto heavens waiting to attack. In the distance, Elder Bai and the others walked over. They were incomparably shocked. What happened? Young master, are you all right? The great battle here had naturally alarmed them. Lin Xian said, I'm fine. I was almost assassinated. Elder Bai and the others' faces changed. When they saw the four geniuses of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven fall. Their faces instantly turned ugly. Who dared to attack them? One of the elders looked serious. They didn't say anything, but they obviously guessed it. Elderbai's eyelids were also twitching. Could it be that someone used that dark power? Who was it? Lone Moon's face was also gloomy. Even Xiaomu had come. Lone Moon could feel the terrifying, murderous aura around him, and his eyes flashed with a biting cold light. If he wasn't careful, he might be hit by such a fatal blow. Lin Xian said coldly, "Where is the residence of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven?" Elderbai was stunned. "Young master, what do you mean?" Lin Xian said coldly and led the way. "Yes, I know." Elderbai nodded. Lin Xian and the others rose into the air. Guyu said, "Did the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven do it?" Lin Xian's eyes flickered. "I guess it's very likely that they did it. Even if they didn't, we have to take them down today." The people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven were naturally paying attention to this battle. In their opinion, 4 mortal world killing saints were sent out. One of them was a peak killing saint. It was enough to deal with a beast tamer. After all, even if the other party had a peak killing beast tamer protecting him, so what? The people of the mortal world were particular about killing with one blow. They were afraid that the other party's soul would be destroyed before he could react. However, things went beyond their expectations. Lin Xian didn't die at all. He was only slightly injured. On the other hand, 3 mortal world killing saints fell. It was really unbelievable, especially the peak killing saint who was injured and fled. They couldn't believe it. They felt like they were dreaming. Now, they saw Lin Xian and the others' murderous aura. They walked in the direction of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. They felt their scalps go numb. No, they had to report it. These people were going to kill them. It was very likely that they would be caught off guard. A few people flashed in the dark. Lin Xian looked at Xiaomu and said, "Kill them." Xiaomu nodded. His powerful soul energy turned into soul flames. The souls of the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, who were hiding in the dark, were instantly killed. On the other hand, Lin Xian sped up and arrived at the mansion of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. This was the place of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. At the front, Elderbai and the others said. They also wanted to ask what Lin Xian was doing. Lin Xian threw a punch. The space in front of him was broken, and a peerless formation bloomed. Lin Xian was proficient in formations. He said to Xiao Mu and Guyu, "Summon your beasts and attack." At the same time, he summoned a few beasts to attack the weakness of the formation. Soon, they killed their way in. Elderbai and the others were stunned. They really didn't expect Lin Xian to kill their way in. Although it wasn't the main camp of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, it was still a mansion. There were countless experts here who would dare to provoke them. Even they didn't dare to make a move easily. But now, Lin Xian and the other 2 directly killed their way in. It was unbelievable. Wasn't this too daring? The people inside were stunned. They didn't expect that someone would dare to fight their way in. A few disciples came up and asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" In the end, they only saw a golden hand descending from the sky and smashing them into a bloody mist. Chapter 46:11. Endless cracks appeared on the ground, and the palaces were destroyed. This scene alarmed the people in the mansion. Who dared to behave so atrociously here? One figure after another rose into the air. When they saw that it was Lin Xian, their faces changed instantly. "It's you, you're not dead?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "So, it seems like you guys did it. Since that's the case, you guys can go to hell." With a wave of his hand, the demonic beasts that covered the sky charged forward. "You're courting death. Kid, do you know what this place is? This is not a place where you can behave atrociously." These people were furious. They were the grotto heavens, the overlords of a region. How could a young man attack them? With a roar, the other people also shouted angrily and charged over. Although they didn't have as many demonic beasts as the other party, this was their territory, and they had countless arrays. Suddenly, a few killing arrays were activated, and a terrifying force swept out, fighting against the demonic beasts. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and his golden eyes shone brightly. The great spear of destruction shot down like a black dragon and instantly shattered a killing array. Damn it, who is this person? How could he find the flaw in their array so easily? These people were terrified. Lin Xian attacked again. With his array skills and the power of the great spear of destruction, it was easy for him to destroy the array. In the blink of an eye, another 3 arrays were destroyed. The pressure on the demonic beasts was also reduced. They roared and began to attack wildly. Many people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven died, and their bodies turned into a bloody mist. The front seemed to have turned into Azura Hell. Damn it! The people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven went crazy and retreated quickly. Many elders shouted angrily. At this moment, a cold snort sounded between heaven and earth. Ants, how dare you behave atrociously here? Go to hell. Between heaven and earth, the void cracked, and a thunderbolt shot out. This was the power of a peak sage king. Xiao Mu snorted and waved his hand, blocking the thunderbolt. He stood beside Lin Xian. At the same time, the terrifying heavenly soul voice shot into the void. Above him, the laws swept out, and a figure descended. It was a middle-aged man. His face was cold and murderous as he stared at Xiao Mu. The other party's soul terrified him. At the same time, he looked at Lin Xian and Elder Bai and said through gritted teeth, "Bai Yuan, do your White Cloud Grotto want to die?" Bai Yuan was on the verge of tears. He was only leading the way. How could he have imagined that Lin Xian would be so crazy as to directly attack someone in the other party's territory? At this moment, he could only brace himself and say that this was a misunderstanding. This was not the intention of the White Cloud Grotto. Previously, someone attacked young Master Qing. Young Master Qing thought that it was you guys, so he came. Lin Xian sneered. There was no need to explain to him. It was the doing of the Purple Spirit Paradise. The peak stage Saint King in the sky was also enraged. Precept swept out from his body as he gritted his teeth. Since he was here, he might as well stay here forever. He slammed his palm downward. While Xiao Mu was fighting against Elder Bai could also feel his blood boiling. He was also furious. How dare you? This is an important guest of the White Cloud Grotto. Try to understand him. Now, he was full of admiration for Lin Xian. He was still hoping that Lin Xian would give him some demonic beasts to increase his strength. Therefore, he was also furious. Moreover, he now felt that it was the Purple Spirit Paradise who had done this. Bai Yuan, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I won't let anyone who came in today go. Elder Bai was also furious. He told the people around him to not hold back and to attack quickly. The experts of the White Cloud Grotto beside him were also furious and quickly attacked. Although there were not many of them, they would not sit still and wait for their deaths. Lin Xian's voice was even colder. Since you want to kill me, you can all go to hell. He activated the terrifying seal of life and death. The demonic beasts under his control instantly had their eyes turn red, and their aura became violent. Some of them even burned their bloodline. Kill. These demonic beasts simply did not care about their lives. They did not dodge the attacks at all. How could those from the Grotto Heavens be a match for them? Therefore, many young disciples died instantly. You're courting death. 3 elders charged into the horde of demonic beasts while Lin Xian activated the seal of life and death. 2 demonic beasts suddenly burst open and instantly enveloped the 3 elders. The 3 elders went crazy. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so decisive and directly sacrifice the demonic beasts. The three of them were scared out of their wits and wanted to escape. However, they were eventually enveloped by the power and turned into a bloody mist. Damn it! The eyes of those from the Xiling Grotto turned red. Kill! Kill that kid! Many people charged towards Lin Xian. Under Lin Xian's feet, the three-eyed vermilion bird crawled and unleashed a terrifying flame. The phantom of the vermilion bird swept in all directions. Lin Xian held the great destruction spear in his hand and swung it around. At the same time, he used his eye technique and attacked with his soul. Those people fell from the sky. He was like a god of death, attacking aggressively. Wherever he passed, no one could stop him. The demonic beasts were even more violent and pierced through the palaces. The sky was shattered, and the earth was split open. It was a scene of destruction. The battle here naturally attracted the attention of the Moonshine City. Countless people rushed over. When they saw that it was the residents of Xiling Heaven, they were stunned. Someone was attacking the Xiling Grotto, who was so strong. There were many families and sects in the Moonshine City, but the most powerful ones were the 6 Grotto Heavens. No one dared to provoke them here. Now, the attack on the Xiling Grotto made them feel as if they were dreaming. Use the sacred weapon. A peak elder rushed to the ground and opened the seal. Suddenly, a terrifying aura burst out. It was a black sacred sword that was extremely terrifying. When it appeared, it cut through the sky. The flames unleashed by the vermilion bird were extinguished, and the black, holy sword charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian dodged quickly. He rushed to the young people of the Xiling Grotto and attacked. The great destruction spear pierced through more than 10 figures. No one was his match. Damn it! The experts of the Xiling Grotto were furious. They held the black sacred sword in their hands, but they did not dare to attack. They were afraid that they would hurt their own people. Kid, come out if you have the guts. Lin Xian sneered. You've lived for thousands of years. You want me to come out with a peak sacred weapon? Are you out of your mind? Today, I'll let you see with your own eyes the fall of your disciples. Lin Xian slapped out again, and the two of them turned into blood mist. Damn it! The elder rushed down with the sacred sword. At this time, Xiao Mu roared. Do you really think that I'm not here? He took out a jade flute. It was a red jade flute with a dangerous aura. He used it now. It was the song of illusion. The three-eyed vermilion bird roared to the sky, and the blood in its body burned. On the other side, a strange golden fish rushed over with the seawater on its head. The two-peaked demonic beasts had gone crazy. Chapter 46:12. They were burning their lives. The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. They did not dare to burn their lives, but the beasts did. Beasts could be replaced, but if they lost their lives, they could not be replaced. Therefore, they could only roar. Stop, we won't fight anymore. The black, sacred sword stopped. The peak elders of Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth and said, "Let them go." Hearing this, the two beasts stopped burning their blood. They calmed down again. Groups of beasts stood in the air, full of killing intent. Lin Xian said coldly, "How dare you send assassins to assassinate me? I will remember you. Xiling Grotto Heaven, I will make you regret it." The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven were also going crazy. "Kid, don't be too proud. We will let you go this time, but next time, we will destroy your soul." Xiao Mu said, "Young master, it's about time. With our current strength, we can't completely destroy them." Lin Xian nodded, indicating that he understood. If he brought more people, it might be possible, but now was not the time. Besides, there was no need to completely destroy Xiling Grotto Heaven. This time, he was just venting his anger. Now that he had vented enough, it was time to stop. He waved his hand and said, Let's go. The beasts in the air went back into the beast pouch. Lin Xian and the rest turned and left. Was the battle over? The people in the distance were quietly investigating. When they saw the mansion in front of them, they almost fainted. At this moment, the mansion in Xiling Grotto Heaven was in ruins. Not a single building was intact. The ground was completely cracked. The sky and surroundings were filled with sacred blood. Many beast corpses were piled up into mountains. However, most of the people of Xiling Grotto Heaven had died. Those people did not even have bodies. They turned into a bloody mist and circled around the sky. It was too terrifying. Elder Bai was dumbfounded. He did not even know how he returned to the mansion. After returning, the news spread. The people of White Cloud Grotto Heaven were shocked. Such a thing happened. Not good. They quickly reported it. They were worried that Xiling Grotto Heaven would come for revenge. They activated the ultimate formation. The people outside were all summoned back by them. At the same time, they requested a group of experts to come and help. The people of other Grotto Heavens were also shocked. This beast tamer was too arrogant. Some Grotto Heavens said that they could not afford to offend the other party. There were also people who sneered. It seemed like the Violet Spirit Paradise would not let this matter rest. How were they going to deal with this? The White Cloud Mansion was naturally nervous. In the past few days, they had begun to deploy their troops. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Don't worry. The demonic beasts that I have arranged for you have already been activated. These demonic beasts are extremely terrifying. Their defense and attack are unparalleled. It won't be a problem. As long as they dared to come, they would die without a burial ground." Hearing this, the people of the White Cloud Mansion heaved a sigh of relief. Indeed, with the protection of the 5 great plant-type demonic beasts, their defense was much stronger than before. Therefore, they were all relieved. About 10 days later, boundless spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared, and the entire sky turned violet. It was as if violet clouds were pressing down on the city. The White Cloud Mansion was shaking violently. The surrounding void was shattering continuously. The people inside were startled at the first instance. Not good. The enemy is here. One by one, experts rushed out of the palaces and pavilions and looked up at the sky. Some of them gritted their teeth. They were the people of the Violet Spirit Paradise. Elder Bai also came out. He shouted coldly, "Violet Spirit Paradise, do you want to attack my White Cloud Mansion?" In the sky, purple clouds filled the air, and figures appeared one after another. One of the old men shouted coldly, "What? Are you afraid now? When you went to the Violet Spirit Paradise and behaved atrociously, did you think that this day would come? Be obedient and hand over that kid, and we can let you live. You destroyed our Violet Spirit Paradise, so there is no need for your White Cloud Mansion to exist." These people not only wanted to kill Lin Xian, but also wanted to destroy their mansion in the Moonshine City. How could the people of the White Cloud Cave tolerate this? This time, Elder Bai did not need to say anything. The other elders were also furious. You still want to resist? Then do it. In the sky, purple lightning struck down, covering the entire area. The lightning was extremely terrifying, piercing through everything. In an instant, the ground below cracked and the palaces collapsed. Some of the White Cloud Cave experts were also split in half. Damn it, how dare you attack? Attack. The White Cloud Cave experts also counterattacked, and at the same time, they activated the array. The Dharma in the sky swept out, facing the purple lightning. A great battle broke out. In an instant, a terrifying aura shook the entire Moonshine City. The entire Moonshine City shook violently. Countless people were shocked. What was happening now? They saw lightning in the distance, and it was a scene of destruction. No way. There was another great battle. This time, it was from the direction of the White Cloud Mansion. Someone was attacking the White Cloud Cave. It must be the people of the Violet Spirit Paradise. They were going to take revenge. Let's go and take a look. One figure after another quickly flew in that direction. Of course, they did not dare to get close. They watched from afar because the aura in front was too terrifying. The entire White Cloud Mansion was shrouded in a sea of lightning. In a palace, Lin Xian opened his eyes. Are they here? Lone Moon looked at them. He frowned slightly. The battle is about to reach us. Should we go out and help? Lin Xian said, Now is not the time. Let's wait until the White Cloud Cave can't hold on any longer. Outside, lightning was everywhere. But inside the palace, Lin Xian and the other two were relaxed. They even chatted and drank spirit tea. The people of the White Cloud Mansion did not ask for Lin Xian's help. In their opinion, this was their territory and they could definitely hold on. But they had underestimated them. After Purple Spirit Grotto had suffered a loss the last time, they had transferred a lot of experts this time. Their strength was much more formidable than they had imagined. Not long after, 3 late-stage Sage King Elders fell. The people of the White Cloud Cave were furious. Furthermore, many of the younger disciples had also turned into a bloody mist. Damn it, if the battle continued, their mansion in the Moonshine City would be destroyed. Elder Bai gritted his teeth. I'll ask young master for help. He quickly descended and came to the front of a palace. He said anxiously, Young master, are you there? Please help, we can't hold on any longer. The door of the palace opened. Lin Xian walked out and said, What's going on? Are those people attacking again? Don't worry, I'll help you. Next, I'll activate the 5 peerless demonic beasts. Elder Bai heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you, young master. Lin Xian took a step forward. His eyes shone with a terrifying light. Seal of life and death. The ground cracked in 5 directions of the mansion. An extremely terrifying aura spread out, sweeping across the 9 heavens. The aura of these demonic beasts were connected, completely enveloping the entire White Cloud Mansion. Chapter 46:13. A stalk of fire kept dancing, as if it had turned into a divine fire, sweeping across the land. Several strong cultivators from the Xylan Grotto heaven were hit in an instant, and their bodies immediately split open. On the other side, a black demonic flower shot out terrifying black water, which had a strong corrosive effect. One of the elders didn't manage to dodge in time, and was instantly turned into a bloody mist. More than a dozen young disciples also disappeared into thin air. Damn it, what kind of demonic beast was this? How could it be so terrifying? The people from the Xylan Grotto heaven were stunned, and so were the people from the White Cloud Grotto heaven. This was great. The young master had made a move, and these demonic beasts had all been revived. Other than these 2 demonic beasts, there were 3 other demonic beasts, and these 5 demonic beasts were all at the peak of the Saint King realm. More importantly, they each had the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. When they worked together, it was really terrifying. When the 5 demonic beasts attacked, it took 9 days. The strong cultivators from the Xylan Grotto heaven kept falling, forming a scene of destruction. Retreat quickly. The people from the White Cloud Grotto heaven had been warned by Elder Bai and had already retreated in advance. They looked at the scene in front of them and were extremely shocked. They felt their hair stand on end. Elder Bai's scalp was also numb. Fortunately, Lin Xian was their friend. Otherwise, they would be dead if they faced such demonic beasts. Lone Moon, who was beside him, was also shocked. These 5-peak demonic beasts could be controlled by Lin Xian. It was really incredible. Although Xiao Mu played a large part in the process of suppressing and controlling the demonic beasts, Lin Xian only used the seal of life and death at the end. But now he was controlling 5 demonic beasts. How much spiritual power and control did he have to be able to do this? Looking at the other party's shining golden eyes, Gugyue did not dare to imagine that this person's talent and strength were definitely far beyond theirs. Even Xiaomu was surprised. Lin Xian was still so young, but he was already so powerful. It would not be a problem for him to surpass him in the future. He might even surpass everything. Perhaps he could use a pair of magical eyes to control a supreme demon saint. Everyone saw this scene, and they had a deeper understanding of Lin Xian's talent. The elders of the White Cloud Wonderland were extremely excited. Such a genius beast tamer must become their friend. No matter what the cost, as long as they could keep Lin Xian by their side, their White Cloud Cave would become even more powerful in the future. At that time, they would be able to surpass the other caves. Those young disciples felt their blood run cold. Fortunately, they had run fast enough. Otherwise, they would have already died inside. Some of their companions did not manage to escape in time and were torn to pieces by the 5 demonic beasts. Those elders also felt heartache, although it was hard for them to lose a few disciples, and perhaps this mansion would also vanish into thin air. But so what? To be able to befriend a genius was extremely worth it. Lin Xian's value was more important than anything else. Demonic qi permeated the area ahead, and the terrifying might of the laws gradually subsided. Those demonic beasts stopped attacking and quieted down. The shattered space in front of them was quickly mending. Everyone looked ahead. Are there any survivors? In the next moment, they all gasped because not many people were still alive in front of them. To be precise, only one person was still alive. This was a peak sage king, realm elder. He had a pagoda on his body that enveloped him. At this moment, the pagoda was also dim. It was because of the pagoda that he was still alive. Otherwise, he would have died without a doubt. Those around him were all killed. Not a single one was intact. They were either torn apart or turned into a bloody mist. No, that elder of the Purple Spirit Wonderland Alliance roared crazily. How many experts and elite experts had he brought with him? But now, they were all dead. He was the only one alive. He could not imagine how he would explain this when he returned. In the next moment, his eyes shone brightly, piercing through the void and looking ahead. Lin Xian walked out and said, "Do you still want revenge?" That elder's scalp went numb. "Do you still dare to seek revenge?" Lin Xian had attacked twice. The first time, he destroyed their mansion. The second time, it was this time. Apart from him, all the experts had died. If there was a next time, what kind of scene would it be? He did not dare to imagine. This young man was too deep. He could not see through him at all. "Young Master Qing, we have offended you previously. Please forgive us. From now on, we will no longer be enemies with you. This time, our men were killed because of White Cloud Paradise. We will not let White Cloud Paradise off the hook. This matter has nothing to do with you, young master. We, the Purple Spirit Wonderland, will remember this battle. White Cloud Wonderland, just you wait." With that, he tore open the void and escaped. Hearing the other party's words, Su Chan laughed coldly. It seemed that his methods had worked. He had beaten the White Cloud Wonderland until they bowed down. Since the other party did not dare to release his killing intent, he could only find another target. It was the White Cloud Wonderland. Thinking about it, these 2 White Cloud Wonderlands had already formed a death grudge. They would definitely fight one another in the future. Damn it. The White Cloud Wonderland was so angry that they vomited blood. The other party said that they were the ones who did it. They had indeed done it, but the most important thing was those 5 beasts. Of course, they did not dare to say that Lin Xian was the one who did it because they begged Lin Xian to set up those beasts. After thinking about it, it was indeed their strength. But so what? There was already a conflict between the white cloud wonderlands. It was just brought forward. Sooner or later, they would destroy the purple spirit wonderland. All right, you guys handle the rest. I'll find a place to rest. I'm tired from controlling so many beasts. Seeing Lin Xian's pale face, Elderby said, "Don't worry, young master. Leave the rest to us. We'll find some strong ones to protect young master." With their strength, they quickly found a mansion. But it was small, only big enough for Lin Xian and the others to live in. They did not mind. They wanted to rebuild the White Cloud Mansion and build a more magnificent mansion. Lin Xian left, and the people behind him looked over. It can't be. Is the battle over? Why didn't the people from the Purple Spirit Wonderland come out? Could it be that they were killed? Heavens, this piece of news quickly spread out. In the ruins ahead, the people from the White Cloud Wonderland were shocked. Some of the younger disciples were excited. Was this a beast tamer? They really wanted to learn this move. Those elders also said that we must firmly grasp this young man in our hands. Do you understand? The others nodded. Of course they understood. We'll rebuild the mansion, and then we'll rope him in and satisfy him. We'll make him give us the method to control the beasts as soon as possible. We must control him. As for the Purple Spirit Wonderland, since it was over, there was no need to hold back. Since they dared to come, they'll go to hell. Chapter 46:14. The news spread quickly, and the people from the other grotto heavens were shocked. It can't be. You're saying that only one of the experts from the Violet Spirit Paradise managed to leave alive? Have the others all fallen? Are you sure? The people from Qianshan Grotto Heaven asked. An elder nodded. I'm sure. I saw it with my own eyes. Only one person survived, and he was heavily injured. The people from Qingqiu Grotto Heaven were also shocked. How could this be? He was just a young man. The eyes of the elder from Howren Grotto Heaven shone. This young man was too amazing. He had to rope him in. At least he couldn't offend him. This way, we'll suppress a group of beasts and find a batch of spirit fruits. I'll give them to this young master. We have to get his support. Lin Xian set up the array, and the others laughed. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He snorted. This was just the beginning. Lone Moon said, "Which grotto heaven are we going to attack next? I can't wait." Lin Xian said, "We don't have much time. They might contact Shanghai City for such a big thing. Although they were far away, they would still do it. If they found the Green Clan and found out that there was no such person, they would be suspicious." Xiao Mu frowned. He knew that Lin Xian's strength was real, but his identity was fake. The other party used the Green Clan instead of Shanghai Palace or Shao Clan to prevent the 6 grotto heavens from taking revenge. Although the distance between the two parties was endless, there was no need to offend so many powerful sections. Lin Xian had a grudge with the Green Clan, so he didn't care and put the blame on Qingzhu. With their speed, they should still have some time. We can make good use of it. Lin Xian thought for a while and said, "I have some friends who were suppressed in the grotto heavens and became battle servants. The main goal this time was to save them." Xiao Mu and Gu Yu were shocked. No wonder Lin Xian hated the 6 grotto heavens so much. Actually, to tell you the truth, I was the same before. My friends, and I came from another world. Who would have thought that he would be suppressed by the 6 great grotto heavens? He had to take revenge. Xiao Mu said, "This isn't difficult. Young Master can invite the young geniuses of the 6 great grotto heavens and control them to find your friends." All right, let's do that. Lin Xian nodded. All he knew was that Fu Hongya was in Violet Grave Paradise. However, he had just dealt heavy damage to the Violet Spirit Paradise twice. It would be troublesome if he wanted to make contact with them again. It would be better for him to take a look at the other paradises and see if any of his friends had been suppressed. On the second day, The people from the 5 great paradises came again, bringing a large amount of resources and demonic beasts, which made Lin Xian very satisfied. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to the elders. The 6 great grotto heavens are considered top-notch sections. There must be quite a number of geniuses in there. I'm going to organize a gathering of geniuses and invite all the geniuses from your grotto heaven. We'll have a good gathering and get to know each other. He wanted to make more friends. Really? That's great. The experts and elders of the grotto heavens were overjoyed. Don't worry, we'll definitely bring those geniuses here in 3 days. All right, I'll wait for you. Lin Xian began to make arrangements. In his opinion, his friends were all top-notch existences. Even if they were battle servants, they should be given to those top-notch experts and geniuses. Therefore, he should be able to meet many of his friends this time. As expected, after those grotto heavens sent the news back, the geniuses from the grotto heavens began to move. Naturally, they had heard a little about the Moonshine City. They also wanted to see what was so special about this legendary beast taming genius. Therefore, in the past 3 days, they used all sorts of methods to rush over. Moonshine City became even more lively in an instant. Every day, there would be powerful figures arriving. The people in Moonshine City were shocked. Oh my God, aren't they the geniuses from the 6 great grotto heavens? Why are they all here? What happened? Haven't you heard? That beast-taming genius is going to invite the top-notch geniuses from the 6 great grotto heavens for a gathering. Really? I want to go and take a look too. Countless people were envious. However, it was useless. This was only a gathering between Lin Xian and the 6 great grotto heavens. Others were not qualified to enter. On this day, dozens of figures arrived at Lin Xian's courtyard. These geniuses were still arrogant and unruly. However, after entering, they realized that there were many beasts swimming in the courtyard. Late-stage and even peak-stage beasts were eyeing them covetously. These geniuses were horrified and put away their arrogance. Come, sit down. Lin Xian walked out and waved his hand. His eyes flashed. As expected, he found some familiar faces. His friends were treated as battle servants. They looked at him coldly as if they did not know him at all. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He secretly transmitted his voice to Xiaomu and told him about those people. Xiaomu nodded. Then Lin Xian found an excuse to talk to a few people in private. The first person to enter was Bai Hao. He was from the White Cloud Grotto Heaven. His name was Bai Tsang. He was extremely excited because he had already heard from Elder Bai that this young Master Qing was a godly person. If he could make friends with such a person, it would be extremely beneficial for his future. As soon as she came in, she said, "Young Master, Elder Bai is my second grandpa. Is that so?" Lin Xian nodded. Very good. In the next moment, a golden hand grabbed Bai Tsang's head. Bai Tsang's face changed. Damn it, what are you doing? He was furious. A shocking amount of energy exploded. At this moment, a sword, aura descended. If you move again, I'll take your life. Bai Tsang broke out in cold sweat. The surrounding battle servants wanted to help, but they were also sent flying. A black ape appeared and suppressed the battle servants with 2 hands. Lin Xian said, "Let's begin." Xiaomu nodded his head and walked out. His powerful soul force flew directly into the minds of the 2 figures. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. The power of the Tianji divine eyes and dragon sword spirit also flew in. Previously, he could break Fu Hongye's control alone. Now that he had Xiaomu's help, it was even easier. Soon, the 2 figures' eyes regained their light. In the next moment, they exclaimed, "Where are we? What happened to us? Are you 2 okay?" Lin Xian walked over and asked, "Marshal Uncle Lin." Lu Yuan stood up in shock. Li Hongxiu was also surprised. "Where are we?" Lin Xian briefly explained what had happened. The two of them were shocked. "We've become battle servants, and it's been a long time. You saved us." Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. Not only you, but also the people from Peerless City and other friends. I want them all out." Then he looked at Bai Tsong and planted the seal of life and death on him. Bai Tsong respectfully knelt on the ground and shouted, "Greetings, Lord." Chapter 46:15. Li Hongxiu and Lu Yuan were both stunned. Lin Xian said, "Don't pity him. They treated you as a battle servant before, and now he's going to be your battle servant. From now on, you'll listen to the two of us. Do you hear me?" Bai Tsong nodded, then stood up. "I'll help you remove the control, then take you away to another place to cultivate." Lin Xian said. Li Hongxiu and Lu Yuan had many things to ask, but they knew that now wasn't the time. The three of them pretended that nothing had happened and walked out. Then another person came in. This time, it was Lan Chao from the Howren Grotto Heaven. His battle servant was Gao Jianfei and Lung Aojuan. They were also controlled by Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian and Xiao Mu removed their seals. The two of them were also shocked. Firstly, they were grateful, and secondly, they were angry. Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, there will be a time for revenge, but not now." Next is the Green Hill Grotto Heaven. The one who came in from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven was a genius called Qing Feng. She controlled Shengguan Shaoxian and Yuruo. She was also removed by Lin Xian. This way, he found most of his good friends. Of course, there were still a few people, such as Linghu Chueshue. He still didn't know where he was. Other than that, there were also the two women who were most important to him, Shun Jingxiu and Murong Qingcheng. These two were also not here. Lin Xian guessed that the two of them might not have been suppressed. Perhaps they went to other places. Of course, he wasn't too sure, so he prepared to suppress a few elders. This way, he could get more information. He found Elder Bai. This time, Lin Xian brought him into the Great Sage Tower, then attacked with Xiao Mu. Elder Bai roared and wanted to fight back, but he was instantly suppressed by the three-eyed vermilion bird. Then Lin Xian began to control him. This time, he controlled him for a longer time than the other party. After all, Elder Bai was a late-stage sage king. However, Xiao Mu was so powerful that his opponent's soul was about to collapse. Lin Xian planted the seal of life and death on him. Elder Bai had also become Lin Xian's battle servant. Lin Xian carefully searched his soul and found that there was no news of Shun Jingxiu and Murong Qingcheng. From the looks of it, the two of them were really not here. His fellow disciples and friends were no longer under his control. They were no longer battle servants. However, Lin Xian did not leave immediately. There were still some things he needed to do, which was to heavily damage the Grotto Heaven and the human world. The 6 Grotto Heavens were related to the human world, and the 6 Grotto Heavens were under the command of the Ethereal Peak. This meant that they were definitely in conflict with the Ethereal Peak. Lin Xian felt that he couldn't just control Bai Rang alone. He had to control some people from the other Grotto Heavens as well. Only then could he launch an attack on Ethereal Peak. It even caused the 6 great Grotto Heavens to kill each other. Lin Xian used his identity as a beast-taming genius to meet with the other elders alone. Indeed, he suppressed some of the elders in the 5 great Grotto Heavens and made them his battle servants. Very well, it's time to begin. Lin Xian planned in secret. Howren Grotto Heaven attacked the elders of the Flying Rain Grotto Heaven. They killed quite a number of elders. The Flying Fish Grotto Heaven roared and attacked the mansion of the Howren Grotto Heaven. Both sides fought fiercely. In the end, the flames of the battle spread. On the other side, the people of the Green Hill Grotto Heaven and the Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven were also engaged in a battle. In an instant, the people of Moonshine City went crazy. What was going on? Why did these grotto heavens turn so crazy? One had to know that there were conflicts between these grotto heavens. However, they had been peaceful all this while. Even if there were small battles, it would not spread to such a terrifying extent. After all, there was the ethereal peak above them. However, the situation seemed to be out of control now. However, they realized that this was just the beginning. In the battle between the grotto heavens, some of them even joined forces. For example, the White Cloud Grotto Heaven and the Howren Grotto Heaven joined forces and destroyed the mansion of the Flying Feather Grotto Heaven. The Flying Feather Grotto Heaven went crazy and joined forces with the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven to attack the Howren Grotto Heaven. In short, the battle was getting more and more terrifying. Even the powerful beings of the grotto heavens were puzzled. What was going on with this Moonshine City? Someone said that a beast-taming genius had suddenly appeared. Perhaps it was because of this genius that the battle had started. Beast-taming genius. Some of the powerful beings let out a cold glint in their eyes. On the side of the Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven, Elder Yen, who found him. Elder Shuewa said, "Have you heard of a beast-taming genius that has appeared recently? I think you can go out and control him directly and make him our slave." Elder Shuewa said, "I don't think this is appropriate. Have you told the old ancestor?" Elder Yen was said, "I'll tell the old ancestor right now. You can head out first. Don't worry, the old ancestor will definitely agree. Furthermore, with the power of your life and death curse, you can definitely do it without anyone knowing." All right then. Elder Shuewa thought about it and decided to head out without much doubt. However, she did not know that she was wrong this time, because Elder Yenhua had already been chosen to be controlled. Shuewa aged very quickly. She came to Moonshine City and found Lin Xian's mansion. She waited until it was dark before she was ready to set off. At night, there was not even moonlight. It was very dark. Shuewa aged very quickly. As soon as she came in, she sensed the presence of demonic beasts. She activated the powerful life and death curse, and those demonic beasts were directly stunned. Like a wisp of green smoke, she charged towards the palace where Lin Xian was. In the next moment, she saw Lin Xian cultivating. She tore open the void, sneered, and charged over. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly turned his head. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Elder Shuewa was shocked. What was going on? He knew she was coming. Could it be a trap? Soon she sneered. "So, what if it's a trap?" "Kid, since you know, then I won't hide it. Kneel down obediently. You can't resist my life and death curse at all." "Yeah, you can try," Lin Xian said with a smile, his eyes blooming with golden light. Elder Shuewa snorted coldly. With a wave of her jade hand, the life and death curse appeared and attacked Lin Xian's soul. Lin Xian used the mysterious heavens map to resist. At the same time, the life and death seal also kept attacking. He actually blocked it. Elder Shuewa was surprised. The other party's soul was already so strong, he was just a young man. In the next moment, she felt the sky and earth spinning, as if she was enveloped by someone. "Kid, do you think that by trapping me, you can subdue me? You're too naive." Lin Xian laughed. "Elder Shuewa, long time no see. Your life and death curse is useless against me. If I can break it once, I can break it a second time." "What? Who are you?" Elder Shuewa was really stunned. Lin Xian recovered his original appearance. "Speaking of which, do you still recognize me? It's actually you." Elder Shuewa was shocked. How could she not recognize him? Chapter 46:16. Damned brat. Who the hell is he? She had clearly placed a life and death curse on Lin Xian, but Lin Xian wasn't affected at all. Not only that, He had even become the prince consort of the 1,000-mountain grotto. And now he had appeared here, setting up a trap and waiting for her. Could it be that you're that beast tamer genius? That's right. Lin Xian smiled. That's me. Why did you come back? Elder Shuiwe was shocked. She had a bad feeling. Lin Xian snorted. You didn't treat us as humans and treated me and my friends as battle servants. I'm here to take revenge. I want your grotto heavens to kill each other. At the same time, I want to find the power of your human world and kill it. Damn it, don't even think about it. Our 6 grotto heavens all have great sages. No matter how strong you are, you're not our match. Elder Shuiwe tried to escape as she spoke. But this was the great sage tower. How could she escape? In an instant, she was sent flying back. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry, I won't go to your headquarters. Those great sages can't threaten me. Also, why you think you're here? Many people are already under my control. Don't you like to treat others as battle servants? I'll let you have a taste of what it's like to be a battle servant. With just you? Elder Shuiwe sneered. What if you add me? Right at this moment, a powerful soul slammed down on him. Elder Shuiwe was sent flying, vomiting blood. Her soul was also injured. Who was it? She was really shocked. A soul storm. This was too powerful. In the next moment, she saw a man walk over. His hair was gray, and his aura was extremely terrifying. Who was this? Was this the person Xiaomu was talking about? Young master, I'll help you injure him. The rest is up to you. Xiaomu was an expert from 5,000 years ago. He had been in the Heaven's Mystery Tower every day for 5,000 years. How strong was his soul? It had reached an inconceivable level. Elder Shuiwe was strong, but she wasn't Xiaomu's match. After all, Elder Shuiwe mainly controlled the younger generation. Xiaomu could even control peak great sage kings, not to mention Elder Shuiwe. Not long after, Elder Shuiwe's soul was heavily injured. Lin Xian stepped on the man's head and said, Do you still think I'm joking with you? He used the seal of life and death to strike into his opponent's soul. Elder Shuiwe roared. She had controlled countless geniuses and made them battle servants, but in the end, she herself had become a battle servant. In the next moment, she knelt respectfully in front of Lin Xian in a very pious manner. Lin Xian laughed heartily at the sight. If he controlled Elder Shuiwe, he would be able to indirectly control the 1,000 mountain paradise's battle servants. This was also an extremely powerful force. Elder Shuiwe's position was very high, so when she returned, she immediately mobilized the forces of the mortal world to assassinate the flying fish grotto. The wasted fish paradise had suffered heavy losses, and they were also furious. Did you think that we didn't have any? They had also mobilized a force. After 2 grotto heavens mobilized the forces of the mortal world, the other grotto heavens started to take action as well. In a short period of time, many elders of those grotto heavens had fallen. Even the few elders controlled by Lin Xian had fallen. For example, Bai Chongqing had fallen. He did not feel that it was a pity. These people were all guilty. They deserved to die and go to hell. The other powerful beings of Moonlight City felt their scalps go numb. They felt that these grotto heavens had gone completely crazy, and this matter had finally spread to Ethereal Peak. The people of Ethereal Peak were furious. Stop messing around. With this order, the forces of the mortal world were immediately sealed, and the grotto heavens could no longer use them. At the same time, they were furious. As for what had happened, these Ethereal Peak powerful beings went to find out. After Lin Xian received the news, he did not take any action. Now that the 6 grotto heavens were fighting each other, many geniuses and elders had fallen. It could be said that each grotto had suffered heavy losses. especially in the last few days when they had mobilized the forces of the mortal world. He was very satisfied. Next up was Ethereal Peak. However, Xiao Mu said that Ethereal Peak was stronger than the Grotto Heavens. It would be difficult for them to fight against them. Lin Xian nodded. He would take a look first. Anyway, he had already taken revenge for the Grotto Heavens. If it did not work out, he would leave first. He would come back when he was stronger. The two main goals of this trip were basically completed, especially rescuing his companions, which was very important to Lin Xian. Therefore, he was also preparing to leave. On the other side, the people of Ethereal Peak had also investigated. It was a beast tamer who had stirred up such a big storm. Damn it, where did this beast tamer come from? Did you investigate him thoroughly? A Saint King in front said, respectfully. Reporting to Elder Pin, it was said that he was a beast tamer genius from the Green Clan of Shanghai City. He was very powerful. Shanghai City, Green Clan. The people of Misty Peak furrowed their brows tightly. This was not their territory at all. How did the other party come to their place? Was there a conspiracy? The elder waved his hand, and the Saint King left. At this moment, a few people walked over to ask. When they heard about the Green Clan of Shanghai City, they were also surprised. Xingshan had just returned. He seemed to have mentioned the Mountain Sea Beast battles. He should know about the Green Clan. Is that so? Is Xingshan back? Go and invite him over. Xingshan. He was from Ethereal Peak Star Clan. However, he did not cultivate in Ethereal Peak because he liked to travel. Therefore, he went to another sect, which was Thousand Transformation Sect. Previously, during the Mountain Sea Beast battles, Xingshan followed the people of Thousand Transformation Sect to watch. After the battles, he was ready to go back to Star Clan. After all, he hadn't returned to the clan for a long time. This time, he was summoned for a meeting within 2 days of his return. What was going on? Elders, why are you looking for me? He looked at the person beside him. This person was called Dugaju. Dugaju said, You haven't been here for a long time. Initially, we did not want to disturb you. However, there is something that is very confusing. Therefore, we wanted to ask for your advice. Xingshan smiled. Brother Dugu, you don't have to be so courteous with me. Dugaju nodded. Recently, a beast tamer genius appeared in our region. He is very terrifying. It can be said that he has stirred up a storm. He claims to be a genius from the Green Clan. He can even control Saint King late-stage beasts. It is said that even Saint King Peak beasts listen to him. Have you heard of this person before? Xingshan was stunned. A young man could control Saint King late-stage beasts? Saint King Peak beasts? This was impossible. Not to mention that he was from the Green Clan. He shook his head. If you said that he was from Shanghai Palace, it might be possible. However, it was impossible for him to be from the Green Clan. Chapter 46:17. The number 1 genius of the Green Clan had already fallen. Even if he was still alive, he wouldn't have the strength to do so. Could it be that you're mistaken? Dugaju said. How could it be? It was this genius of the Green Clan who had caused a storm in the Moonshine City. The battle between the 6 Grotto Heavens had started because of him. It was impossible. Xingshan shook his head. Our myriad transformation sect and the Green Clan had a cooperative relationship, so I'm very familiar with the situation of the Green Clan. There was definitely no such young man, unless he wasn't from the Green Clan. Dugaju's eyes lit up. Since the other party had said so, it couldn't be false. Who was this person? What was his purpose? Xingshan said, I'm very curious about who this genius is. I've decided to go to the Moonshine City to take a look. Dugaju said, Don't worry, I'll go. But before that, I have to prepare. If he's really from the Green Clan, then it'll be fine. If he's not, then don't blame the Misty Peak for being impolite. A trace of cold-killing intent appeared in his eyes. The people of the Misty Peak had already moved quickly. Lin Xian didn't know that he had been targeted and even seen through. However, he knew that he didn't have much time, so he prepared to leave. On this day, the people of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven came again and said, "Someone wants to see you. Young master, come with me." Lin Xian frowned. "Who is it?" The other party said, "This person is not ordinary. He's even stronger than the people of the Grotto Heaven because he's from the Misty Peak and the Star Clan." Hearing this, Lin Xian's face immediately darkened. Someone from the Star Clan? He didn't have a good impression of the Star Clan either. He said, "I don't have time to prepare to leave." The elder of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven said, "We won't delay you. That person is already here. He's in the White Cloud Mansion. Young master, you can go there now." As he spoke, an aura emanated from the elder's body and locked onto Lin Xian. Lin Xian furrowed his brows slightly. Then he smiled. "All right, I'll go and prepare." Lin Xian turned around and went in. The people of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven were waiting outside. With a wave of his hand, the others secretly sealed off the entire courtyard. This brat would definitely not be able to escape. As long as he wanted to escape, she would immediately discover him. When Lin Xian came in, he frowned. Guyu asked, "What's wrong?" Lin Xian said that it was very likely that they had been discovered. Their attitude today was not right. Xiao Mu said, "It was a pity that the previous elder Bai had died. Otherwise, they could have used him." Lin Xian said, "I think the star race has discovered our identities. Thus, we shouldn't stay here for long. This time, we'll go and see what's going on. But no matter what, we have to leave immediately after this matter is over." The two of you will stay on the Black Earth and be ready to move at any time. After that, Lin Xian walked out and followed the elder of White Cloud Grotto to White Cloud Mansion. At this moment, the White Cloud Mansion had already been rebuilt. After all, there were 5 peerless demonic beasts stationed here. Naturally, they were reluctant to leave. This time, it was even more majestic than before. However, there were still some formations that were not set up. Even so, it was still extremely powerful. No one dared to provoke it. After entering, Lin Xian walked past countless pavilions and buildings. He realized that the number of people in White Cloud Mansion had doubled. Furthermore, the auras of these people were extremely cold. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. However, he acted as if he knew nothing and continued walking in. Soon, he entered a huge hall. There were a few figures waiting in the hall. One of them had an extremely terrifying aura. Not only was there starlight, there was also a mysterious energy. When Lin Xian looked at the other party, a cold light flashed in his eyes. He seemed to have seen this aura before. However, the other party was trying to hide it. "Young Master Qing, you're here?" The elder of White Cloud Grotto smiled and said, "Let me introduce you. Your old friend is here to see you." "Old friend?" Lin Xian looked ahead and said, "Where's my old friend?" "Why, don't you know him?" The elder of White Cloud Grotto laughed. He pointed at the figure and said, "This is an expert from Myriad Transformation Sect. Isn't your Green Clan cooperating with Myriad Transformation Sect?" "Myriad Transformation Sect. I see." Lin Xian sneered in his heart. No wonder he felt that the aura was so familiar. However, he quickly said, "We do cooperate with Myriad Transformation Sect. However, I don't know everyone." Xingshan walked out and smiled. "I'm not the most important person in Myriad Transformation Sect. However, I'm not as weak as you say. I'm also involved in some of the cooperation with Green Clan. However, how come I don't know that there's such a genius in Green Clan? What's your name?" "Young Master." Lin Xian said coldly, "How can you know everything about Green Clan? I'm a hidden genius from Green Clan." Really? Xing Shan sneered. Why didn't you participate in the Mountain Sea Beast Wars? At that time, Green Clan was beaten up badly. Even the #1 genius of the clan fell. Why didn't a hidden genius like you take action? You're not from Green Clan. Tell me, who are you? When he said the last sentence, endless starlight rushed out from his body and surrounded the entire Dalian. A terrifying aura pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood there, unmoved. The star chart in the sky stopped and floated above Lin Xian's head. Kid, you're so good at acting. Huh? So, what if you're acting Today, I've torn your face apart. You're not from Green Clan. The elders of White Cloud Grotto changed their expression and walked up one by one. So it's true. Who are you? What are you plotting in White Cloud Grotto? Lin Xian sneered. I'm not from Green Clan? Open your eyes and look. Suddenly, a ball of green light appeared in his eyes and slashed forward. That gaze turned into a blade and destroyed everything. When Xing Shan saw this, he was stunned. Eyes of blade. How you know this? At this moment, he was stunned. The eyes of blade was a unique eye technique of the Green Clan. No one else knew it. Logically speaking, he knew that Lin Xian was not from Green Clan. But now, Lin Xian showed the bloodline of Green Clan. He was completely confused. The experts of White Cloud Grotto were also stunned. They stopped and did not take action. What's going on? Could it be a misunderstanding? At this moment, Lin Xian sneered. A vortex appeared on his body, and a fiery red claw flew out and attacked forward. Xing Shan vomited blood and flew backward. Many cracks appeared on his body. His starry sky map was burned. Not good, the people of White Cloud Grotto exclaimed. Xing Shan roared. Damn it, catch him. He's not from Green Clan. Although he did not know why Lin Xian knew the eyes of blade, it was obvious that Lin Xian wanted to kill him. Chapter 46:18. That's right, you guessed right. I'm not from the Green Clan. Since the other party had seen through him, he did not intend to hide it because he did not intend to stay here any longer. He was ready to go back. Damn it, the people of White Cloud Grotto roared. Catch him. In an instant, countless experts gathered here. A formation was formed, and 49 giant swords descended from the sky. They slashed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. He formed a seal with his palms, and the ground darkened. In the next moment, the ground cracked open, and countless trees surrounded it, forming a powerful shield that blocked all the sword light. At the same time, the whole palace was torn apart, and the surrounding people all flew into the sky. They were shocked. Damn it, it's trees, they're using fire. Someone roared. An elder formed a seal, and a monstrous flame lit up the sky, illuminating the world. However, the trees were not afraid of fire at all. As they swayed, the entire void and sea of fire collapsed. Lin Xian stood there and sneered. Stupid trash, do you think you can hurt these trees with fire? These are demonic beasts at the peak of the Sage King realm. I'll let you people of White Cloud Grotto know what pain is. After speaking, Lin Xian roared, and his golden eyes swept across the entire White Cloud mansion. The earth and sky cracked open, and the 5 peaked demonic beasts were all awakened. Demonic chi filled the air, surrounding the 9 heavens. The people of White Cloud Grotto trembled, and their faces turned pale. Oh no, we're in danger. Damn it! Did the other party set up these demonic beasts for this moment? Get out of here. They still remembered how the 5 demonic beasts had destroyed the people of Purple Spirit Grotto. Now, they did not dare to fight back. Lin Xian sneered. Since you're here, don't leave. The demonic beasts had completely exploded. Boom. The whole White Cloud mansion, which had just been built, was shattered again. The bodies of the elders and disciples were like kites swaying in the wind, torn apart. Only some of the top experts could resist, but they were also vomiting blood. The people of Moonshine City were stunned. White Cloud Mansion was destroyed. Who did it? Are the experts of Purple Spirit Grotto attacking again? They looked around, but in the next moment, they found that the demonic beasts were dancing, destroying everything. The experts of the White Cloud Grotto had fallen. At this moment, a ray of starlight lit up the world, forming a huge star chart that cut everything apart. Moreover, there were countless mysterious auras that neutralized the attacks of the demonic beasts. Xing Shan roared, his eyes turning red. In that instant, he had been injured by a sneak attack. However, he was still a peak expert after all. He was extremely powerful. Now that he had recovered, he naturally wanted to retaliate. However, no matter how strong he was no match for the 5 peak demonic beasts. He could only leave quickly. He tore apart heaven and earth to escape. The people of White Cloud Grotto also wanted to escape. However, they were not so lucky. In the end, only 2 elders managed to escape. The rest of them all died here. The White Cloud Mansion had been reduced to ruins, and the ground had cracked open. Lin Xian flew out from inside. His face was cold. Since he had been discovered, he had to leave quickly. However, he was still 1 step too late because his identity had already been exposed when Xing Shan returned. Therefore, the people of Misty Peak naturally took action. After Xing Shan escaped, he sent out a signal. Dugaju arrived with his men and sealed the entire Moonlight City. At the same time, a cold voice was heard. People of the 6 great grottos, listen up, capture the beast-taming genius. The people of Moonlight City were stunned. It was because of this beast-taming genius again. The people of the 6 great grottos were even more shocked. What was going on? Why did he suddenly want to make a move on the other party? Was it because the Misty Peak was afraid of him? They did not know. However, they soon received news that this person's identity was fake. He was not a genius of the Green Clan. He must have other motives and schemes for coming here. Hearing this, the people of the 6 great grottos were also shocked, especially the Purple Spirit Grotto. They were the first to stand out. That detestable kid. How dare he deceive us and kill so many of our grotto's experts? He will definitely die. The Purple Spirit Grotto was the first to gather a large number of experts and began to search the city, preparing to capture him. The people of the other grottos also began to move. After all, no one dared to go against the Misty Peak. Just like this, the entire Moonlight City was completely sealed. Not even a fly could fly out. The other party would definitely not be able to escape. They found him. Under the joint pursuit of the 6 great grottos and the Misty Peak, they finally found Lin Xian. They surrounded him. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Without hiding, he directly activated his demonic beasts and attacked. Terrifying demonic beasts covered the sky and earth, sweeping across all directions. The 3-eyed vermilion bird, the strange golden fish, and the shadow bat. Other than Lin Xian, Xiaomu and Guyu were also secretly attacking. Lin Xian attacked even more aggressively. The great spear of destruction swung out, bringing with it a destructive aura. However, the people of the 6 great grottos were not weak either. Moreover, the people of the Misty Peak were also here. The Star Clan joined forces to suppress the starry sky. Lin Xian felt immense pressure. Golden light bloomed from his body. He punched the sky and sent the starry sky map flying. Many people were stunned. Some of the experts of the grottos were shocked. This physique. Damn it. It's that kid. He's Lin Xian. A series of exclamations rang out. With this golden physique, coupled with the human ruler's seal and mountain-embracing seal, everyone finally knew the identity of Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not hide anymore and returned to his true appearance. He laughed coldly. That's right, it's yours truly. The 6 great grottos dared to suppress my companion. Today, I'll make you pay the price. Kill him. The eyes of the Star Clan turned red instantly. The other party had killed a top genius of their family. Now that they had seen him, how could they let him go? In an instant, the starlight in the sky turned into sword chi and attacked continuously. The other people of the 6 great grottos gritted their teeth. The people of the 1,000 mountain grottos were incomparably cold. To be honest, they were shocked as well. They had not expected the other party to be related to the 1,000 mountain grottos. They had to suppress the other party and cut off all ties. Logically speaking, any young prodigy, or even a saint king at the peak, would be destroyed by such a terrifying attack, unless it was a supreme sage. Of course, there was an exception, and that was Lin Xian. There were way too many beasts around Lin Xian right now. Even though he was outnumbered, he could control these beasts and fight back. In an instant, both parties were evenly matched. The people of the 6 great grottos were shocked. Xing Shan walked over and said coldly, "Don't worry, no matter how strong this kid is, he'll run out of soul power one day. By then, he wouldn't be able to control these beasts, and he would definitely die. Indeed, even if he had to exhaust his soul power today, he had to exhaust the other party to death." Lin Xian's face was cold. At this moment, he set up a formation, and his body turned into nothingness and disappeared. It was a teleportation formation. They could not let him escape. The people of the Purple Spirit Grottos gritted their teeth. Chapter 46:19. Xing Shan snorted coldly. "Don't worry, he can't run away. The entire Moonshine City can only be entered, but not exited." As expected, Lin Xian wanted to use the teleportation array to leave, but he found that it was blocked by a powerful star power. He could only teleport to another place to hide. Moreover, he had collected countless demonic beasts, changed his aura, and hid in the crowd. That kid had disappeared. He seemed to have a special way to disguise himself as someone else. No matter how powerful his methods are, he can't leave. Doesn't he have companions in the 6 great grotto heavens as battle servants? Find those people. I don't believe that he won't come out. If he doesn't come out, I'll kill one. I want him to see his companions die in front of him. Soon, the people of the 6 great grotto heavens took action. They went back to bring all of Lin Xian's companions. At the same time, they brought another group of experts. They didn't believe that Lin Xian could escape this time. The 1,000 mountain grotto heavens also received the news and quickly took action. Elder Shuiwe stood out and took the initiative to take this mission. She brought a group of experts to Moonshine City. The people of the 1,000 mountain grotto heavens were also shocked. They didn't expect that Lin Xian would dare to go against the Misty Peak. The people of Black Ice Ancestors faction also shook their heads and sighed. Fortunately, Xue Qi wasn't in the grotto heavens at the moment. She was out training. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome if she secretly helped them. Now, they didn't have to worry about that. They could take action. Unfortunately, they didn't know that even if Xue Qi wasn't here, Elder Shuiwe had already become Lin Xian's battle servant. This time, the people that Elder Shuiwe brought were all experts under his control. They listened to him completely. They could fight back at any time. Not only that, but Elder Shuiwe had also received Lin Xian's order. She was on her way to the Moonshine City. Using a teleportation array to send out a signal. This signal was sent to the Xiantian Pavilion. This was Lin Xian's signal for help. After the people of the Xiantian Pavilion received it, they immediately took action. Jian Wuk personally led countless experts of the Xiantian Pavilion and activated the teleportation array to Moonshine City. Dugaju had also come personally to preside over this matter. He and Xingshan stood side by side above the ninth heaven, their gazes covering the entire Moonshine City. Xingshan said, "Capture that brat. We can't let him die. He has a lot of secrets on him. He has a super strong physique and a terrifying soul. We have to make him our battle servant, get all the value he had. Don't worry, I know what to do." Dugaju also sneered. Two men in battle armor knelt down on one knee and reported to the elders that the people from the 6 great grotto heavens had brought the battle servants here. "Very good. Take them to the tower and spread the news throughout the Moonshine City. Tell that brat it's best if he comes out obediently, and we can consider letting his friends go. Otherwise, every day, he would torture a battle servant and let his people taste the feeling of living a life worse than death." Yes, the black-armored man returned to carry out his orders. Soon, everyone in the Moonshine City knew about it, and their scalps suddenly went numb. That brat was dead for sure. Anyone who dared to provoke the ethereal peak and the 6 grotto heavens would not be able to survive. Lin Xian naturally knew about it as well. His face was cold, but soon he sneered. He activated the seal of life and death and gave the order. After Elder Shui Yu arrived at the Moonshine City, she began to go to the other grotto heavens' residences. Then she said, "Leave Lin Xian's friends to me. I have the means to guarantee that they will suffer a life worse than death. Moreover, I won't kill them." No one expected that Shui Yu Elder would come personally. Every grotto heaven had someone like Shui Yu Elder, who was in charge of controlling the battle servants. However, these people usually didn't appear. This time, only Shui Yu Elder from the 6 great grotto heavens appeared as a control-type elder. Naturally, everyone believed her. However, this time, the 6 great grotto heavens still sent some elders. Among them, a few elders from the grotto heavens stood out and took the initiative to accept the order. Following these elders, Shui Yu Elder and the others suppressed Lu Yuan, Shangguan Xiaoxian, and the others. They all gathered together. Among them, the masters of the battle servants, those geniuses, also came. Ling Tian had also come. Behind him was Fu Hongya. He looked at Fu Hongya and sneered. "I heard that the one who is courting death this time is your fellow disciple. Fine, I'll let you see how he will be destroyed by us." When he thought of Lin Xian, he gnashed his teeth in anger. After all, Xueqi was also his dream. However, in the end, he was defeated by Lin Xian. How could he tolerate it? Now was the best time for him to take revenge. He sneered and prepared to torture Fu Hongya first. She slapped Fu Hongya to the ground. At this moment, Fu Hongya retreated and dodged the attack. Ling Tian was stunned. "Damn it, you dare to dodge? Kneel down." As the master, he could kill the battle servants at will, and the battle servants wouldn't resist. However, today there was an exception. Fu Hongya snorted coldly. "Kneel down." As he spoke, he slapped forward. Ling Tian was stunned. He was pushed back and couldn't believe it. He actually dared to attack. "It seems that you are courting death." He activated the soul mark and wanted to torture Fu Hongya. However, he found Fu Hongya standing there coldly. "Damn it, you are out of control?" Ling Tian was so frightened that he took 2 steps back. His face was full of shock. How is this possible? He looked at the elders of the surrounding grotto heavens and said, "Elders, take him down together. This kid is very strange. He can actually break the control of the grotto heavens." However, the surrounding elders still looked at him coldly and didn't react at all. He looked at Elder Shuiwei again, because this time, Elder Shuiwei was in charge of this matter. However, Elder Shuiwei didn't react. "Damn it, what's going on? Can someone tell me what's going on?" Ling Tian roared crazily. He felt that the world had gone crazy. At this moment, A voice came from behind him. It's useless. They won't listen to you because they take orders from me. Who is it? Ling Tian was so frightened that he turned around abruptly. In the next moment, he saw a figure walking over. It's you? He recognized Lin Xian at a glance. Damn kid. You actually dare to come out. Elder Shuiwei, take him down. It's this kid. Elder Shuiwei and the other elders of the Grotto Heavens turned their heads to look at Lin Xian and bowed respectfully. Greetings, Lord. Ling Tian was stunned. He was so frightened that his scalp went numb. His eyes were about to fall out. Heavens, what's going on? What did I see? These powerful elders of the Grotto Heavens actually attacked the other party like this, and even called him Lord. Damn it, how can an ant receive such treatment? He looked at those young geniuses again. Bai Tsang, Lan Chao, Qing Feng. What are you doing? Hurry up and attack him. Hurry up and inform the Grotto Heavens. However, what shocked him even more was that these young geniuses directly knelt on the ground and faced Lin Xian with incomparable respect. Chapter 46:20. Lin Xian slapped Ling Tian, sending him flying. Stupid ant, can't you see what's going on? They're all my battle servants now. If I want them to live, they'll live. If I want them to die, none of them can live. No, this can't be real. Ling Tian went crazy. What kind of method is this? This is heaven-defying. Can the elders and geniuses of the Grotto Heaven be controlled? Lin Xian sneered. I've wanted to kill you for a long time, but Hongya said that she wants to kill you personally. So now's the time. Hongya walked over and said, Junior Marshal Uncle, don't worry. I'll kill him myself. Aunt, you think you can kill me? Ling Tian roared. Fu Hongya said coldly, do you really think you're so high and mighty? You're just lucky to be born in the Grotto Heaven. Although we came from other worlds, our talent is definitely not inferior to yours. The only thing we lacked was some luck. Now that your luck is back, what right do you have to be arrogant in front of us? Fu Hongya, Lin Xian, and the others came from other worlds. They once stood at the peak of the world and even the universe. They were unparalleled existences. Their talent and strength were top-notch. It was only after they were suppressed that they became battle servants. If they were given the same opportunity and time, defeating Ling Tian and the others wouldn't be a problem. Now was the time for Fu Hongya to prove herself. Ling Tian sneered and looked at Lin Xian. He gritted his teeth and said, Kid, don't make a move if you have the guts. I want to fight him one-on-one. Lin Xian said indifferently, Don't worry, we won't make a move. This is a battle between the two of you. All right, that's what you said. See how I'll deal with this kid. He walked over with large strides. His speed was extremely fast, like lightning. His palms formed a seal, turning into a divine disc, and slammed forward. How could Ling Tian be his opponent in a one-on-one fight? But this time, he was wrong. Fu Hongya snorted and a red leaf flew over. It turned into a bolt of lightning and pierced through Ling Tian's palm. Ling Tian retreated, his face full of shock. Damn it, how is this possible? As his battle servant, he was well aware of the other party's strength. Why did it exceed his imagination? Fu Hongya sneered. Do you really think I've always been your battle servant? It's not like that anymore. After he finished speaking, he erupted with an extremely cold radiance. The terrifying red leaf carried with it a monstrous power of laws as it charged over. Dozens of red leaves danced in the sky as fast as lightning. Ling Tian roared and used all of his strength to counterattack. He was a top genius of the Heavenly Grotto, so how could he lose? However, after 30 moves, he was injured again. This time, one of his arms was cut off and turned into a bloody mist. After 50 moves, he was split in half. Damn it, he was finally frightened. Don't hit me, spare my life. Too strong. Although his cultivation was higher than the other party's experience and decisiveness were not things that he possessed. This wasn't something that could only be achieved by going through hundreds of battles. It required countless battles of life and death. Ling Tian had never experienced such a battle before. But Fu Hongye had it. This was the difference between the two. Don't kill me. Ling Tian was scared. He immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Fu Hongye. Then he looked at Lin Xian. Please spare my life. Please spare me. Spare my life. Even if you treat me as a battle servant, that's fine. Fu Hongye walked over with large strides and sneered. A battle servant? You don't have the right. A red leaf penetrated the other party's forehead, killing his soul. Ling Tian fell to the ground, his soul destroyed. Even until his death, he could not believe that he was killed by his battle servant. At the same time, Lin Xian waved his hand and said to Lu Yuan, Leng Aojuan, and the others, you guys can do it too. Lu Yuan, Shangguan Xiaoxian, and the others attacked together, killing Bai Tseng, Qingfeng, Lan Chao, and the other geniuses. Then they roared at the sky. They had been too aggrieved during this period, and now they finally had their revenge. Young martial uncle, what should we do next? These people came to Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian said, put on a good show, then we'll leave. I'll bring you to a big sect, and you can cultivate there. Old Xiao, I'll need your help next. Xiao Mu walked out, took out a few beasts, and extracted their souls. Then he used the bodies of Ling Tian, Lan Chao, and the others to fuse with them. In the next moment, phantoms appeared one after another, and then they turned into the same scene as Fu Hongye and the others. It was equivalent to a clone. That would do. That's great. Fu Hongye and the others smiled. They were waiting in the dark. Next, Elder Shuiwei received the order and quickly led the fake clones up the city tower. Then the news was spread. They gave Lin Xian a day to show himself. Otherwise, these people would suffer a fate worse than death. Countless saints in Moonlight City were shocked. They looked up at the figures on the city tower, shook their heads, and sighed. It was a pity that they dared to go against the Paradise and Misty Peak. These people were doomed. A day later, Lin Xian did not appear. Dugaju's face darkened, and he took action. Soon, the people of the 6 Great Paradise attacked the battle servants. Lightning flames surged out, burning the battle servants and causing them to roar crazily. Of course, it was only the souls of the beasts that were roaring. As for the bodies, they were the bodies of dead geniuses. However, Xiao Mu had used a peerless ability to change them. In their eyes, Lu Yuan, Fu Hongye, and the others were being punished. The people of the 6 Great Paradise laughed proudly. The people of Misty Peak were also cold. They were going to tell the world. This was the result of provoking them. Let's see who would dare to challenge them in the future. 3 days later, those battle servants were already on the verge of death. None of them were in good shape. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They were terrified. They could not offend the 6 Great Paradise in the future, and they could not offend Misty Peak. However, on the 3rd day, a figure walked out. It was Lin Xian. The people of Thousand Mountain Paradise were the first to roar. The people of the other paradises also moved out. They stood in the sky and sneered. Kid, you're finally out. Why? Can't hold it in anymore? If you come out now, your friends can still live. Otherwise, they'll all go to hell. Kneel on the ground obediently and accept our punishment. Cold voices rang out one after another. In the sky, 2 figures walked out. They were Dugaju and Xingshan. The 2 of them stood side by side. Behind them were some powerful people of Misty Peak. They were like gods, looking down at Lin Xian. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at these people. He sneered. Just with you guys? You can't catch me. Today, I'm here to tell you that yours truly is leaving today. This is a punishment for you guys. However, it's not over yet. One day, I'll come again. All of you, kneel at my feet. Chapter 46:21. His cold voice rang out in all directions. Everyone in the Moonlight City felt their scalps go numb. This was the only person who dared to say such harsh words in front of the 6 grottos and Misty Peak. Sure enough, when the surrounding people heard this, they also raised their heads and laughed. In the sky, the people of Misty Peak snorted. You want to leave today? Don't you think you're thinking too much? Xingshan's face darkened. These are his friends, right? Find 2 of them and kill them on the spot. I'll let him see his friends with his own eyes, because he's going to hell. Soon, Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxin's figures were dragged over. Both of them were covered in blood, and their souls were still roaring. At this moment, the other 2 elders walked over as well. Energy exploded from their bodies, and they were about to strike. However, this palm strike did not land on Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian. Instead, it landed on the elders of Misty Peak. Instantly, the 2 elders of Misty Peak were sent flying, their bodies torn apart. Their souls were roaring. Damn it, how dare you attack me? The surrounding people were stunned as well. Oh my God, what's going on? Xingshan's face darkened. Dugaju snorted. Qianshan Grottos, Howren Grottos, how dare you? How dare you betray Misty Peak? His cold voice was filled with boundless killing intent. However, just as he finished speaking, a few more explosions could be heard. The other elders of Misty Peak were sent flying as well, vomiting blood. This time, it was Green Hill Grottos and Flying Feather Grottos. Everyone in the Moonlight City went crazy. What was going on with these 4 grottos? How dare they attack Misty Peak? Could it be that they had betrayed Misty Peak? Were they on Lin Xian's side now? The elders of Misty Peak were roaring as well. Damn it, how dare you attack us? Lin Xian laughed out loud. That's right, they're on my side now. Misty Peak, do you still have the right to be arrogant in front of me now? Damn it, Dugaju gritted his teeth as well, glaring at Lin Xian. The other elders of the grottos were roaring crazily. Elder Dugu, don't listen to him. We're not on his side at all. We've always been on Misty Peak's side. That's right. You can believe them of Misty Peak will only lose their lives. Lin Xian laughed coldly. Dugaju and the others shouted coldly, don't move. All of you from the heavenly cave stay here. Why did you attack? Why are you on that brat's side? Xingshan gritted his teeth and said, it was an eye technique. They were probably being controlled. You also know that he can control demonic beasts at the late stage of the Saint King realm. He can even control demonic beasts at the peak of the Saint King realm. You can imagine how terrifying his soul power and eye technique are. Naturally, he didn't believe that everyone in the grotto heaven was being controlled. However, he couldn't tell who was being controlled and who wasn't. This was a very awkward situation. Dugaju gritted his teeth. Quick, let's do it ourselves. The people of Misty Peak walked up and stood in front of the battle servants. Brat, so what if you can control the people of the grottos? Don't tell me you don't want your friends' lives anymore? That's right. If he values his friends, then they still have a chance. Lin Xian laughed out loud when he heard that. Of course, I value my friends. Unfortunately, they have already come to my side. He waved his hand, and a few figures flew over. They were Lu Yuan, Li Hongxiu, Shangguan Xiaoxian, and the others. How could this be? The eyes of the people of Misty Peak almost popped out. Have these people been saved? Then who were they torturing for the past few days? Damn it! Elder Xingshan was furious. He attacked crazily, hitting these people. Soon, these people's bodies were torn apart. Their souls flew out and turned into the souls of demonic beasts, roaring into the sky. As for those bodies, they astonished the crowd even more. That's Ling Tian. Lan Chao? Damn it, that's the genius of our grottos. The elders were crazy. They were torturing their own geniuses these days. The elders of the grottos felt like they were about to break down. They had never suffered such a big loss. Moreover, the other party was just a young man. Kill him! The elders of the grottos roared crazily. The people of Misty Peak were even colder. They attacked. Countless people rushed up, and a great battle broke out. You want to fight? I'll fight you to the end. Lin Xian summoned many demonic beasts. At the same time, the immemorial demon mountain pressed down. The few people who were close to it were sent flying. Lone Moon walked out as well. On the other side, Fu Hongya, Lu Yuan, and the others also attacked aggressively. Although they couldn't defeat the elders, they had no problem fighting against the young disciples. More importantly, Elder Shueyue and the other elders who were being controlled also attacked, especially Elder Shueyue, who led a group of battle servants and charged over. And they were charging towards Misty Peak. The people of Misty Peak were so angry that they vomited blood. You'll die today. Dugu Ju shouted coldly and slashed out. Although he was only a late-stage Saint King, his combat strength was heaven-defying. His strength was equivalent to a peak Saint King. In front of Lin Xian, the three-eyed vermilion bird rushed over and shot out flames, blocking the shocking blade light. I don't believe that you can survive today. Xing Shan also attacked aggressively. Like a star mountain, he brought with him terrifying power. Lu Yuan and the others vomited blood and retreated. Lin Xian also retreated. Xiao Mu shouted coldly. The hallucination song exploded, and the terrifying heavenly music attacked. The star map on Xing Shan's body shook. It's useless. Xing Shan sneered. This time, we're well prepared. With a wave of his hand, a few more terrifying experts walked over. They were the experts of the Star Race and Misty Peak. The people of the 6 grottos also attacked crazily. In an instant, Lin Xian and the others were suppressed. What to do? Lu Yuan and the others looked terrible. Lin Xian sneered. He took out the Xiantian token and crushed it. The space between heaven and earth shattered. The enchantment that sealed Moonlight City was also broken at this moment. A huge whirlpool appeared, and many people walked out from it. The leader was a middle-aged man with a long sword on his back. Sword chi filled the sky. Beside him was an elder covered in golden light. Other than that, there were many experts. Their auras covered the sky. Even the people of the 6 grottos felt their scalps go numb. The warriors in Moonlight City, who were watching the battle, prostrated on the ground in fear. Who are these people? They're too scary. Duguju's pupils shrank. Jianwok, it's you? Is Xiantian Pavilion going to go against us again? Last time, Lin Xian had been rescued by the people of the Xiantian Pavilion. This time, Jianwok had come again. Furthermore, he had brought even more experts with him. Lin Xian is from Xiantian Pavilion. If he's in danger, how can we not come? Jianwok said coldly. Elder Golden Light shouted coldly. Whoever dares to touch him, I'll destroy their souls. A terrifying voice shook the sky. Chapter 46:22. Duguju's face turned ugly, but at this moment, Xing Shan stepped out and said coldly, Is Xiantian Pavilion that powerful? But at most, you can go against Misty Peak. If we join in, can Xiantian Pavilion stop us? Hearing this, many people's faces changed. Even the people from Xiantian Pavilion frowned. They did not expect Myriad Transformation Sect to be involved as well. They were also a top sect. Xiao Mu stepped out and said coldly, What if we join in? Also, Lin Gongzi is the champion of the Mountain Sea Beast battles. He is protected by Mountain Sea Palace. Killing him means becoming enemies with Mountain Sea Palace. Does Myriad Transformation Sect want to become enemies with Mountain Sea Palace, or even the entire Shanghai city? Hearing this, Xingshan's face darkened. Although Myriad Transformation Sect was not afraid of Mountain Sea Palace, he could not represent Myriad Transformation Sect. Moreover, Myriad Transformation Sect would not become enemies with Mountain Sea Palace. After all, offending the Beast Tamer family was not good for them. Therefore, Xingshan did not say anything. He was clenching his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Dugaju's face turned cold as well. Jian Wuk, Lin Xian, I will remember you too. This matter is not over yet. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Of course, it's not over yet. Do you think this is over? I will not forgive you for what you have done in the past. This time, I'm just teaching you a lesson. One day, I'll descend upon you again. At that time, all of you will have to submit to me. Lin Xian and the others' figures gradually faded and disappeared from Moonlight City. Although Lin Xian had left, news of what had happened spread like wildfire. Everyone in the northern region knew about it. Countless people were shocked. How terrifying would such a top genius be when he grew up? They did not dare to imagine. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others left Moonlight City and returned to Xiantian Pavilion. When they arrived, they finally heaved a sigh of relief. They had been on tenterhooks along the way. But now, everything was fine. Good job, kid. Elder Jingguang walked over. They already knew what had happened before, and it was really satisfying. Jian Wuk was surprised as well. He had not expected Lin Xian to be able to stir up such a huge storm all by himself. The 6 great grotto heavens had suffered such a huge loss. Lin Xian said, "This was all thanks to old Xiao." The people of Xiantian Pavilion naturally welcomed Xiao Mu. He was the patriarch of the Xiao clan, and they needed to refine a batch of demonic beasts. Therefore, the two sides talked for a long time. As for Lu Yuan and the others, Lin Xian personally found Jian Wushuang and explained his thoughts. After this, Lin Xian might have to travel around. As for Hong Yi, Lu Yuan, and the others, he planned to let them stay here. After all, these people were treated as battle servants and didn't cultivate properly. Now it was time for them to start cultivating normally. Jian Wuk naturally agreed with this point as well. These people were all top-notch geniuses. If they could join the Xiantian Pavilion, it would make the Xiantian Pavilion even stronger. Just like that, this matter was settled. Lin Xian was not in a hurry to leave. He stayed in the Xiantian Pavilion for 2 months. During this time, he learned some things about the Xiantian Pavilion, especially when he learned that when he left the Xiantian Pavilion, the experts of the 6 great grotto heavens sect came looking for him. They even stayed here for a long time. Lin Xian was shocked. This was really too dangerous. He couldn't let his guard down. The people of the 6 great grotto heavens sect would definitely come looking for him again. 2 months later, when Lin Xian was about to leave, Fu Hongya, Lu Yuan, Shengwan Xiaoxian, and the others walked up to him and said, "Junior Martial Uncle, we'll cultivate here for now. We'll meet up with you when we return." Li Hongxiu also walked over and said, "Thank you so much for this time." Lin Xian smiled. "Why are you being so polite with me?" He then looked at Hong Yi and the others. "All right, I will be more careful then." He said goodbye to them, then to Jian Wuk, Elder Jingguang, and the others. He, Xiao Mu, and Guyu took the teleportation array and left. This time, they returned to Shanghai City. The people of the Xiao clan were very happy. The clan leader had finally returned safely. They were afraid that Xiao Mu would be gone for another 5,000 years. When Xiao Shi received the news, she rushed back from the Shanghai palace. When she looked at Lin Xian, her eyes turned red. "You rascal, I really thought you wouldn't come back." Lin Xian said, I promised you that I would come back. After that, Lin Xian stayed in the Xiao clan for a while. Then he went to the Shanghai Palace. Elder Ruochen of the Shanghai Palace was naturally happy. When he had nothing to do, he would spar with Lin Xian. Lin Xian was also very enlightened. However, on this day, Elder Ruocheng's brows were tightly knitted together. He found Lin Xian and said, "Little rascal, I'm afraid you are in trouble." Lin Xian said, "What trouble?" Elder Ruochen said, "We have received news that the people of the Six Dao sect are looking for you. They are already rushing towards Shanghai City." Lin Xian frowned. It was the Six Dao sect again. Damn it! It must have been those people from Misty Peak who told the Six Dao sect about him. These people are really courting death. Elder Ruochen said, "What grudge do you have between you two? If it isn't a life and death grudge, the Shanghai Palace can help you resolve it." Lin Xian said, "Thank you, Senior, but I'm afraid it can't be resolved. The other party wanted his eyes. How could he agree to it? This was a grudge that couldn't be resolved." Lin Xian took a deep breath. "Thank you, Senior, and the Shanghai Palace. I am very grateful." However, I can't stay here any longer. I don't want to bring trouble to the Shanghai Palace. Okay? Elder Ruochen nodded. Since it couldn't be resolved, he didn't want Lin Xian to face the Six Dao sect. After all, it was an extremely terrifying sect. Legend had it that it was related to the 6 paths of reincarnation. Lin Xian prepared to leave. Xiao Xiu ran over after hearing the news. Her eyes were red again. "Are you leaving now?" Lin Xian said, "Things are urgent. I have to leave. You should cultivate well here. I'll come back to see you when I have time." Xiao Xiu nodded and asked, "Where do you plan to go next?" Lin Xian hesitated. To be honest, he didn't know where to go next. Elder Ruochen walked over and said, "Lin Gongzi is a young genius. I think he should be walking the path of the great emperor. And it seems like he wants to fight with more geniuses. I have a place to recommend you. Senior, where is it?" Lin Xian was interested. Elder Ruochen smiled. "Taiching Ancient City. Taiching Ancient City. What is that place? Is it an ancient city?" Elder Ruochen nodded. "That's right. You told me that you have been to Qianquan Ancient City. Taiching Ancient City is an ancient city like Qianquan Ancient City. Taiching Ancient City is even more terrifying. There are more geniuses there. Countless geniuses who want to walk the path of the great emperor. You won't be disappointed if you go there." "Really?" Lin Xian was even happier. "I wonder if Senior has a map to Taiching Ancient City?" Chapter 46:23. It seems like you've made up your mind to go. A map? Yes, but there's a simpler way. Come with us. We're planning to head to Taiching Ancient City in 3 days. Senior, are you going too? Lin Xian was surprised. Elder Ruochen smiled. Our Shanghai Palace has some matters regarding the beasts that need to be dealt with. So I'm going there with a few elders. I want to go too. Xiao Xiu stood up, but Elder Yen Luo said, Disciple, you should stay here and cultivate in peace. Your seal of life and death is at the most crucial moment. You can't give up halfway. Not everyone was like Lin Xian, who had a heaven-defying eye technique and could quickly master a secret technique, like the seal of life and death. Even a top genius like Xiao Xiu would need a long time to master it. All right. Xiao Xiu sighed helplessly. She looked at Lin Xian again and said, You must remember to come back and see me again. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry. Next, he started to prepare. He would leave with Elder Ruochen in 3 days. On the other side, Six Dao sect sent an expert. It was the great Saint Expert. He was filled with killing intent. Damn Xiantian Pavilion. How dare they lie to me? He chased them all the way to Xiantian Pavilion and found nothing unusual. Then he went to Shanghai Palace. This time, he had to capture the other party. On the side of Shanghai City, Elder Ruochen and the others were also ready to leave. They rode on a lightning sparrow surrounded by lightning, spreading its wings. It tore through the void and disappeared. Her speed was very fast, and she left Shanghai City in an instant. Not long after they left, a figure descended. The terrifying aura of a great saint came from all directions. He didn't hide it at all. Countless people in the city felt their scalps go numb. This aura was too strong. The beasts roared continuously. They couldn't withstand this power at all. "Where is Lin Xian?" A cold voice sounded. The people in Shanghai City were stunned. This person was actually looking for Lin Xian. Xiao clan. Xiao Mu's face turned cold when he heard about this. Were the experts of the Misty Peak here? Fortunately, he had learned that Lin Xian and the Mountain Sea Palace's elder Ruo Chen had left, so he managed to avoid a calamity. Xiao Shiyu and the other elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were equally shocked. Go and find out who this person is. When they learned that it was people from the Six Tao sect, they secretly exclaimed that it was a close call. The eyes of the people of the Green Clan turned red. This was great. This was a good opportunity. They could secretly pass it on to that great saint. Senior, that Lin Xian is no longer in the Mountain Sea Palace. The people of the Mountain Sea Palace set off for Taiching Ancient City. Not long after he left, the great sage snorted coldly, then flew up into the air and left. Everyone assumed that he had given up. However, the people of the Green Clan sneered. Being targeted by a great saint, they would like to see how that brat would die this time. They couldn't accept the fact that the other party had killed their number one genius. It would be great if he could borrow the great sage's hand to finish off his opponent. Lightning streaked across the sky, covering thousands of miles. The lightning sparrow was extremely fast. There were several palaces on its back. Lin Xian, Elder Ruochen, and the others were there. Lin Xian stood beside Qianfang. Feeling the aura around him, he sighed. The methods of beast tamers were really too powerful. Elder Ruochen's lightning sparrow was a peak Saint King demonic beast. Its speed was shocking. Even so, it would take a long time to get to Taiching Ancient City. One could imagine how vast the buried Emperor Star was. And this was the profound sky continent. The other continents were also extremely terrifying. He wondered what kind of experts were in Taiching Ancient City. He wondered how Qingcheng and Qiu were doing. This time, he had saved most of his fellow disciples from Peerless City and his friends. However, there was no news of Murong Qingcheng and Shenjing Qiu. However, with their talent and background, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Their situation should be better than his. 5 days later, Elder Ruo Chen said that there was still half a month before they arrived. "Why don't we spar?" Lin Xian's interest was piqued. Elder Ruo Chen was very strong. He was even stronger than Xiao Mu. With such a person's guidance, Yi Xian's eye technique and soul power would improve quickly. The other elders also smiled. They were very satisfied with Lin Xian's talent. Such a person's future was limitless. However, at this moment, Elder Ruo Chen suddenly stopped and turned his head to look into the distance. Even Lin Xian had a solemn expression on his face. "What's wrong?" the other elders and disciples asked. Lin Xian said that there was a powerful aura coming towards them. Elder Ruo Chen nodded. "That's right. It seemed to be a great saint." The other elders and disciples of Mountain Sea Palace were shocked. Not long after, the elders also sensed it. Their faces turned ugly. "It shouldn't be coming for us." Perhaps it was just a great saint passing by. They didn't care. Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together as a cold glint flickered in his eyes. Was it really just passing by? He glanced at Elder Ruo Chen. Elder Ruochen nodded and changed direction. The lightning sparrow spun and changed its direction, flying towards another direction. A day later, Elder Ruochen stood up with a solemn expression. It's coming for us. Indeed, they had changed direction this time. If the other party was just passing by, then their aura should have disappeared. However, they sensed the other party's aura again. It was getting closer and closer. This was definitely not a coincidence. The others of Mountain Sea Palace said, "We don't have any powerful enemies. It's impossible for us to send a great saint." Lin Xian said that if it's not coming for you, then it's coming for me. When these words came out, the others were shocked. Was it coming for Lin Xian? Could it be? They all looked at Elder Ruochen. Elder Ruochen nodded. It should be someone from Six Dao sect. Someone from Six Dao sect. The other elders were shocked. The Six Dao sect was very far away from their Shanghai city, yet they had sent a great saint to capture Lin Xian. Why did they do this? What did Lin Xian have that the people of Six Dao sect would spend so much effort to capture him? It increased its speed. Elder Ruochen formed a seal. Lightning danced on the lightning sparrow's body, and it suddenly increased its speed. Behind it, the great saint of Six Dao sect snorted. "Since we've found you, don't even think about escaping." He also used a divine ability, and his strength and speed suddenly erupted. Although the lightning sparrow was a lightning-type demonic beast and had an advantage, it was still a great saint chasing after it. Its speed was even faster. Therefore, the distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Everyone felt the aura of a great saint above them, and it would fall at any time. What should they do? Elder. They all looked at Elder Ruochen. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.